We're back, everybody, with our third series of today. Dota doesn't stop. We've got VG Thunder. I started saying VG Gaming. I was like, which one is this?
Yeah.
And it was one of them, one of three. Versus Mineski, Group A action.
Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
phew. Okay, I
I
get
did
made.
some team research, checked to
Okay.
see how the teams had done previously, and I think the thing that stands out for both of these guys is they're in the middle of the pack. VGJ.Thunder much better position, 5-5. Mineski's like 3-6. And if you look at the teams that they matched up against, VGJ.Thunder had to play Fnatic and EG Day One. They lost O2s to both, and then they also went 1-1 with, or I think they 2-0'd Winstrike, and they went 1-1 with like some other like mid-tier team that was kind
Okay.
of okay. But they had a rough day one. Day two they only played one match, so I imagine they gave them tons of time to strategize. Perhaps maybe start copying some strats and do well. And they've got enough wins that they're in an okay spot. Whereas on Mineski's side, they've gotten O2'd by a lot of the top teams, but they've also been O2'd by OG, and they only went 1-1 against IG. So they still have kind of a hard road. They still have to play LGD. They have to get a 2-0 here if they want to be in a good position, but they're not. So Mineski's not looking great
Yeah.
bracket-wise right now.
Even if they win the rest of their games, they're still 8-8, which is like 50% is like borderline middle of the pack, and only 4 of 9 are in winner bracket. So
hmm
that may not be enough, and hey, they have to go 4-0, which is possible for a team like Mineski, but
But
unlikely.
they'd have to beat LGD 2-0 as well. So it's going to
Yeah,
be really hard for them to get back to a good spot.
Mineski's looking like a team highly likely to start in the lower bracket.
Yes, and I think if I was them, or at least if I was an outsider trying to hedge my bets, I would say don't be last in your group. Win strike is 2 wins less than them with equal matches played. If Mineski can get at least 1 win, I think they would feel real good to make sure, at least knowing
Yeah,
that they're not going to be eliminated from groups.
yeah. I mean, that's once you're kind of in that place where you're unlikely to win a bracket. That's really all that matters is making sure you're not in elimination territory. Because win strike could, theoretically cause some upsets. They still have OG to play. Fnatic and Liquid, though, going to be tough for them. But who knows? Some of those teams like Liquid may just relax a bit more once they secure top four,
hmm
and you could always sneak a win in here or there. But that's kind of where things are to set the stage. Let's get into our draft. Let's get into our picks. We've got a SCA versus China showdown, and we see some familiar-ish faces. First time we've cast Brewmaster, although he has been
Yeah.
banned in a lot of our games.
So kind of curious why. The first thing that stands out to me is you could potentially AoE dispel your team if you have something like Yules yourself. It's probably unrelated. It's probably more like we just like Brewmaster as a hero, but it's not something Mineski has played around much actually. We've casted this is like our third
Yep.
Mineski set we've seen. Haven't seen a Brew yet. Their strats seem pretty straightforward, but maybe this is their plan against Silencer and whatever else they expect to see.
Yep. It gives them some good team fight options. It is a hero that Ice can play well, known for some of those more micro-esque heroes. So shouldn't be any problems with as far as the individual players go. As far as the team go, like you say, it's not been a comfort, it's not been a go-to, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a problem. And based on their record and how Mineski have played, I think it's a good thing that they are just saying, let's try some different opening, let's try some different picks and playstyles, because so
Mhm.
far their go-tos have not worked.
I feel like I've seen very few Brewmasters though. In all the games I've kind of glanced at on screens, I don't get a chance to watch them. Maybe I've seen
There's
some slip through, but
there's been some actual first stage ban brews, but that's only against specific teams. I think it was Optic. Yesterday, TNC first banned it
okay.
both games, the ones
Maybe
we cast.
maybe it has some value. Oh, AoE Dispel against a Clinks, I guess, would have been one way
Oh,
uh,
there you go.
to remove Strafe at least. It's
Um,
decent against Necro, but they did pick it pre-Necro, so maybe just covering some of their bases there. TB ban as well, a little interesting.
And it's not like it's like Silencer on paper is like one of the pseudo counters to it, because if you initiate on Brew and Global Silence, he can't ulti.
hmm
He does eventually get a BKB most likely, but it's obviously here Mineski did not care about what VGJ.Thunder picked. They wanted it regardless.
hmm So a lot of the range carries getting banned out by VGJ.Thunder, the
Yep.
heroes that Mineski's been playing a lot. Potom is definitely one of those. Although after their experience playing Mirana versus Silencer earlier today against Liquid, I don't know if they would want to play around with that, but they do get a Dark Willow on the dire side, so should be able to see some Roche abuse, similar to what VP's been doing.
Yep. So nice strong pick for them in the 4 position role. Puts Venge over as a 5, but that's going to be a-okay. And as for Mineski, they banned out a lot of those Siler heroes. Weaver in the first stage, and now TB and Spectre. He's had at least one really good TB game that I saw off, not in the stream we were casting, but definitely looked to be in pretty good form. Siler's always a guy who shows up and plays well at TI. There's some players, you can count on them. Doesn't matter how the rest of the year goes, they're good TI players. Mushi's another one. Like these
Mhm.
guys, They play good Dota. TI doesn't scare them.
I kind of like they banned out Spectre here. They might have some damage issues with the Brew Core. So just safe to get him out of there. Their lockdown's not the most reliable right now, but it could be good. Wind Ranger as VGJ.Thunder. Seen it more as a core than a support, I feel like.
Yeah.
Do you like it against any of Mineski's heroes here?
Not. I don't think it really hard counters anything. It gives you a good stun initiation on a Brewmaster theoretically. Have they got something planned with it?
Not
Drow
sure.
strats? Let's talk about Drow for the next 30 seconds like we,
Yeah.
we like to do.
We're past the second phase of bans. That's usually where she gets
Yeah.
knocked out. So don't feel like Drow versus Brew too much generally, but
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to win the Drow lane. I guess if you win your mid Wind Ranger and your off lane Necro lanes.
maybe because of the silencer, they're just thinking we need like really strong team fight. Thinking like even if yes, global silence counters you, but if you get it off beforehand, if you get it off after, it's going to take another hero out of the fight with the Cyclone. Maybe that's enough of an advantage. You can dispel all the curse of the silence. Like there's a lot of really good things about Brew in this game potentially with what they're up against. Bloodseeker still gets snagged though. Very good laning hero. Rupture is very useful against heroes like Necro or Wind Ranger even. So decent opening. Nothing too weird though. Just maybe the BKB frontliner they might want to scale into a carry.
Yeah, I feel like this is theoretically going to reveal a lot more because now we answer the question: is Wind Ranger a mid or a 4? And we also maybe answer the question of like, what is their overall like game plan? Is it a Drow strat? Is it something crazy? Is it just going to be some kind of stable, solid initiator that their team kind of lacks right now? Something that's often paired with Silencer. Although Silencer just feels like a strong hero overall. Very good laner, a lot of damage output. The Curse just doing a lot of damage.
He's not very good at defending himself, but it seems like a lot of the gank heroes right now are very burst heavy. It's all like tinies and stuff, but if you're playing Slark versus Silencer, easy food every single time because it's not. Yes, he can buy a couple items to get tanky, but he needs like a Glimmer Cape or a Force Staff or something to be really more survivable in some of the circumstances. So maybe things like Silencer without lacking those hard disables to defend yourself isn't as bad these days.
Well, they're using up all their reserve time, really thinking through their options, and it'll be a Luna. Similar kind of pace to a Drow strat, I feel, but a bit better late game. Bit faster farm, and when it's a Drow strat, it's not all about the Drow. It's like about the overall strategy. When you get a Luna, you want to farm Luna, or this hero doesn't do a whole lot.
I really like it as a hero solution to Bloodseeker as well, because normally when you get ruptured, it's like, oh man, I can't move around. But for Luna, I don't think she cares that much. Typically, at some point, she's going to have a BKB, and Bloodseeker's going to run at him, and she can press Eclipse, which is still going to do a ton of damage to opponents, assuming Bloodseeker doesn't have a BKB. At that point, he probably will, but still, gives you some outplay potential. It's a nice range nuke, so even like participating with Necrophos is still going to help him get a better ulti kill off. I think it's like an okay opening. I haven't seen too many teams play around it, but I mean, historically, good with Chinese teams, push towers, win the lane, do okay.
And they love their VGJ.Thunder specifically love their BKB timings. It's also, I think, a general thing with Chinese teams where you get that BKB and you're definitely not afraid of Rupture because the Rupture Blood Right, you can BKB, hold your ground, drop an Eclipse still, you're not getting silenced, and gives them a good solid pushing hero to play around their BKBs with. So definitely seems strong here.
Just a lot of execution on both sides that needs to happen for things to work out well. Lina getting banned out too.
We didn't also touch upon the Dark Willow Bloodseeker have some obvious synergy. Rupture with Terrorize. We've seen this, I feel like, quite a lot. And here comes, I would say, the Bloodseeker counter in some ways. Wraith King, a hero that can frontline, jump on Bloodseeker, and you don't really want to Rupture him, at least not until he's on his second life.
And with the Tinker ban, VGJ.Thunder kind of expecting something that's going to be better in the late game than just currently Bloodseeker, basically. Like a Bloodseeker Venge, even if Venge is the core, that does not feel great going late game, especially against things like Luna and Wraith King and Necro. It's like they're very ability-based heroes, kind of for that carry potential, and they can definitely outlast that. So Mineski needs something that's going to hit really hard, that's going to go late game. Spectre's already banned. That's maybe the more typical. There's a PL in the game, but PL's kind of been losing a little bit today, I must say.
Yes. We've also definitely seen the fall off of Wraith King. I mean, he's still a good hero, but no longer being first picked. Fourth, fifth pick, I feel like this is a bit more appropriate in some ways, although the issue is you don't normally fourth, fifth pick at like a 3 position, so only certain drafts can you maybe fit that in.
What's also kind of cool about the meta right now is that everybody's kind of playing different stuff. There's still a lot of staples, like we're still seeing a lot of Necro early. Pugna is still justified as like an early ban, but I mean, some teams really favor Crystal Maiden, other teams always prioritize Vengel, other teams open with the Silencer, you know? So it's all kind of matches where their play styles at. It's pretty cool to see in Dota right now.
Yeah, I think we're only down to like 11 or 12 heroes that haven't been picked at all. I'll take a quick look at that, but yeah, we are seeing a lot of play across the board. So 13 unpicked heroes, just day 3 of group stages, and Shadow Fiend for Mineski is going to be the last pick.
Okay.
Moon most likely going to be handling that one in the mid lane.
It's high damage carry, so it can work that way, but how's the mid matchup?
It's Necro. So, I mean, early on it's quite hard. If you can get your souls, it goes well. And I think the nice thing for SF is, yeah, the Ghost Shroud is not really a save. It's a damage amp for SF with his raises. Having these magic nuke heroes against Necro is definitely the way you want to go in lane.
Global Silence is still pretty good against SF as well, because even if he goes BKB ulti, you can always waste his time, pop the global, make him buy himself a moment. And I'd say Shadow Fiend versus Luna doesn't sound amazing for SF going ultra late game, because SF is a mix of right-click damage minus armor aura, and Luna's just always going to have so much armor that she's not too vulnerable there. So I feel like SF is around the damage amount that they're going to need, but we'll see if it can work out as a hero.
All right. Should be a good one. Mineski and VGJ.Thunder both playing for a lot here. Both teams would love to be in the winner bracket. A lot harder for Mineski to achieve, but very achievable still for VGJ.Thunder, who have had a decent-ish start to their group stage. So sitting on 5-5, all it's going to take for them is, you know, a 2-0 here. You're 7-5, and you're, for now, in the top 4.
Yeah, they need minimum equal on wins-losses, which is definitely going to do a lot. Maybe they'd have to get a tiebreaker, but I mean, hypothetically, if they win their next set's 2-0, both of them, they could absolutely hit winner bracket. Be huge.
Well, we'll get ourselves into the game momentarily. Anything that's kind of stand out as far as the draft score? We are seeing a 4-position Wind Ranger. We haven't seen much of that.
I think it's fine though. It's a good hero.
Yep. Brewmaster, excited to see our first Brewmaster game on here.
Yeah, I do like that. I think Wind Ranger support as well is going to be better just because the supports she's up against are lower range. They have nukes and stuff, but right clicking is still a focus of them between the Venge and the Dark Willow. So I think Wind Ranger can really work out this game. And his arrows are on fire, so that's pretty cool. I don't know how you get that. It's probably an abuse thing or something.
I was about to say, there was some good cosmetics. Like the Brewmaster set of Ice 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 was pretty nice
cool
too.
It's the most recent Collector's Cash 2. Buy it now before it goes away forever, guys. $2 per set.
Or how many? 6 for $10. Actually, don't quote me on that. I don't.
You get levels.
I do not officially. do not officially represent the store. Do not.
I think it's a deal like if you open a certain amount, you get a bunch of bonus
Okay.
levels, kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
Yep. Same set as that Enigma one. You too could get lucky after buying 42 sets. Okay. See how the lanes match up. That's really where I'm kind of curious. Looks like Moon's going to play SF mid.
Yep. SF mid against who, though? Brewmaster is currently around the mid lane. We'll see engagement up top. Fade gets the win run. He may still be dead. The races are leveled, and Moon gets the last hit. He will be going back mid based on his items, it looks like. Gets a first blood. Doesn't get any souls for it, and won't be able to get souls until he hits level 2, but happy camper with his extra items, as it will be a mango and a magic stick.
It's a nice little way they approach that. There's one tree you can cut there to swing in behind your opponents, and very common for teams on the Radiant side to actually go scout there, so it's kind of a little bait there by Mineski to go for that first blood.
See how many runes Mineski can get. VGJ still want to fight up top. Meanwhile, Luna wants this bottom one and will not get it. Ice 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 may be able to secure both down bottom, in fact.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's going to go and bully Sylar. Sylar runs past him. He's like, I love this. He doubles back. He's going to get there first, but there is going to be a Bramble Maze. He walks into it. He may pay for it with his life. He is pretty fast here on the Luna. Getting slowed down a little bit. 335 movement speed. The body blocks need to be good. It's great. Jabs playing on point. There's going to be one more right click. Oh, God. Ice, Ice, Ice. You had it. He gave it to his friend Jabs, though. What a nice guy.
That was a little scary. That one, I felt that one in my bladder. That was a pretty incredible kill, though, considering that was just 2 disables, and they right-clicked him and blocked him solo. But that's Jabs, man. The guy's very high skilled.
Very well done. Good start for Mineski. Those raises, the triple raise, you know, you got to remember this SF did get them level 1 as Necro's already forced to salve and tango. SF has mangoes to play with, or a mango, and magic stick as well.
Used to have 2, but it was like, I'm going to break his salve. This'll, or at least make him use the salve.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
definitely
sure if
tough.
that was really worth it. Necro's full health, full mana. Meanwhile, Moon has Tangos and a Mango. This doesn't really feel that favorable for him right now.
I don't know if he was expecting to. I mean, he almost got that kill. It
Yeah.
was very, very close.
He was going for the kill, because without getting the kill, it's now a lane disadvantage for him.
But Tangoing back up. So he doesn't have souls. Did get the first blood gold, but spent it on mangoes and regen and stuff. It's kind of offset a bit.
Getting bullied a bit here, and a bit surprised to see him pick up the magic stick with his initial gold.
Is he
feel
diving?
like- yeah,
Oh,
looks
he's
like
going for it.
is.
He knows where Moon's going to hide, but Moon knows the way out.
Yep.
Escapes, killing some
God,
creeps.
Moon's
He's
very
still got to
close.
run.
Courier's there too. Okay, luckily this is creep wave. Didn't go for the death pulse as well to go for the finishing blow. He brought out an extra mantle here. Moon is being completely zoned out. Has got a salve coming out on Courier, but considering he got first blood, he is getting destroyed in this lane. And that triple raise at the start, he's regretting it.
Absolutely. It would have been better for him just to play it safe, but I mean, he was getting last hits because Freeze walked in. Maybe Freeze was a little worried too, but if only he had brought a salve with that first blood, everything would have been fine for Moon here. So very costly. Didn't expect to get in this kind of a situation. Thought the single tango would work out.
DDC, Silencer, going down the bottom lane. That's the Dark Willow using his Bramble Maze.
Okay. More brew claps as well. Boots for him, so very good at trading hits at this point.
3-0 lead early on, although the mid lane not going well. CS in general not looking too favorable for Mineski in the laning stage, but these kills will somewhat mitigate the damage of those farm advantages. Jabs finds an Invisor, and this could actually lead to something in the mid lane. He throws the first raise out though and doesn't actually catch Freeze, and unfortunately for Jabs, Moon is a bit low here on mana. He may catch the Courier though. It's going mid. He's going to catch on the return. Should be able to do so, and that's a decent chunk of gold. He could leave it there for 3 minutes, but you know he's not expecting this.
It's good timing. Just before it becomes flying too, so good he got it then. Moon also brought himself 2 mangoes, so he could potentially go for a triple raise if needed. And I do like that he's bringing these for that reason. That way if there is a gank potential, then Dark Willow can rotate on it. But the Courier Snipe is by far going to be the best thing he does anyways. So.
He'll just head back bottom. I think he realizes there's not much he can do mid. The double null talisman already out, as is the Fairy Fire, so Ghost Shroud Fairy Fire can heal a decent chunk. And not a lane he feels like he can contribute much in. Bottom lane is the one Mineski need to be prioritizing winning. That's the Luna. That's really the big problem here. Luna going to not get caught by the Bramble Maze. He jukes around it for now. Sylar plays it well, knows the pattern, gets out of there.
That was really cool.
Will survive. Has a salve. Oof. With the Magic Stick charges, he doesn't die to the Shadow Realm as well.
Really cool that he ate the tree to get the slight edge on the Bramble Maze. Looked perfect for Jabs.
Back at top, some stuns being exchanged between Wraith King and Venge as Yang getting chased down a little bit here. Summons the skeletons in the trees. He turns around. He wants Mushi. The power shot coming through as well for some extra damage. And Mushi, very low here, needs to get his salve off. Quelling Blade through the trees. The skeletons, they're homing on in. Oh, they could lose vision.
Okay.
I'm about to say, my skeletons never chase that well. They always, the second you go into fog, they just stand there and they're like, we're done.
I'm surprised
I'm on break.
Got away from that. That was so dangerous.
Oh no, those skeletons have some pretty bad pathing through around fog, particularly at nighttime. But they're going to get the kill on Yang now. Mineski with the salve up from Mushi. They turn it around and find a way to get their 4th unanswered kill of this game 1.
That's kind of cool. And after the fight's over, he uses Blood Rage on the Venge. The Venge can get the denies. He doesn't lose gold, but his Venge still gets heals out of it. That was kind of a cute little way to help win the lane.
Well played. Mushi, Blood Rage still is actually shackled and stunned at top lane. No, just some harass, it looks like. Gets him down to half health.
They're limited on mana is the one big thing, but
Luna, Sylar, he's overstepped here. He wanted to contest that pull, and he'll pay for it with his life. Perhaps
I mean,
underestimating the damage there.
Bramble just seems really good right now. Like if you know where your opponents want to be, Bramble is really good.
I mean, something you were surprised by, and I didn't know either, was that 140 damage at level 1.
Yes, I didn't realize. I mean, I think they started buffing it because Dark Willow was kind of spammed in pubs, but then she got competitive, and she was touched a little, but they just mostly ignored as a hero. Mushi taking a lot of damage top, actually.
Stun into Shackle. Mushi getting very low here, trying to hit a blood right. There's the crit from Yang. 2 points in it. With the skeletons, able to secure that kill. Venge is just off on a warding mission around the mid lane. Both teams actually warding. Not sure if he spotted Ninja Boogie with that ward. Doesn't look like it, but Ninja Boogie knows exactly where that D ward is going to be.
But even though Bramble Maze is a very long cooldown, even though you're not always roaching, you're still going for bounty runes. And there's a lot of little ramps that go to every single bounty rune. Gives you even more ability to abuse those easy routes and damage.
Yep. As it stands, the VGJ.Thunder side, despite being down 5 kills to 1, have managed to outfarm their opponents in all 3 lanes. Just the SF, well, he's even 2 CS behind the Necro, so SF not having the perfect time, but has recovered since that rough level 1 start. Once you get the souls, and once you get multiple points in raises, your lane becomes a whole lot easier, which is why using those raises at level 1 when they're not that strong was a bit unexpected. He's going for a kill, yeah. He's got raises in a couple seconds, has mangoes. Is he going to go for it? He's got the mid-range raise range and long ones soon, but the haste rune wears off. He's got an invis instead. Oh, he tries to aim it, doesn't quite hit it. Top lane, Bloodright coming out. They're going to look for this Wraith King kill. He pops his magic wand. He's got a sal, but he can't find a way to use it unless he can get into these trees. And with jabs rotating up here, it will be kill as down bottom, Ice on the Brewmaster takes a spill himself. Nicely done with the Arcane Curse.
And rotation from Wind Ranger. So I feel like the Wraith King at this point feels moderately shut down. I guess his last hits are really good. He's got a Treads and a Wand, so it's not like he's underfarmed, but he certainly seems really easy to kill. And that's one thing that Venge really does for you. We saw that earlier today. The stun, the minus armor.
Jeez, that crit.
But it amplifies your team's damage so much that it makes this guy who has lots of HP and semi-low armor just straightforward. Yep. Another death on Ice. That one's really costly because now he's got to walk back to lane. So
Siler's suddenly finding a kind of a free farm lane, which is what you hope for as a Luna. Nice easy farm. Jabs swoops on in for the mid D ward. Looks like they may want to play around Moon. He has got those level 4 raises now, so very dangerous for any VGJ.Thunder heroes to be anywhere near the Shadow Fiend.
Another stun once again. Just easy harassment builds here. A lot of harass.
That's the damage output potential for Wraith King. That's almost a solo kill. If he could just maybe chase for one more stun, which is on a pretty low cooldown.
He'll have to go kill small camp in the meantime to get some heal back. Dark Willow is hanging around here with the smoke. It's going to partially break. Maybe wrap around trying to grab Siler, but the Observer Ward does spot them rotating over. They'll grab, I'm sorry, that's their ward. They D-ward the other one, though.
That's 2 D-wards in a row in quick succession. A lot of this Radiant Vision being removed from the map, which makes it a lot harder for the Luna to farm safely.
Nice. Very close to 6. Wants to pick that up, but still another wave away. But a side pull is going to keep the wave in a good spot. Siler in the same position, an inch away from level 6, and whoever gets it first could take a better fight here. And we'll see Shadow Fiend rotate. He's shown up.
Okay. Can they find the kills they're looking for, they're hoping for on the Luna? Even if she gets level 6, it might just be too many heroes to fight into right now.
There's 6 on Brew.
If Fade can scout it out, Siler can just maybe look for the TP home. He's going to run back to his tower, gets caught by the root though, and will get blown up before he can TP out. Curse Crown going to find Fade as well, as follow-up doesn't look like it's going to be there. No additional control. They may be giving up top lane for this one. Skeletons being summoned by Yang, as bottom lane should be property of Mineski.
And ultimately, the reason this rotation works so easily is because of all these D-wards. They're able to get the ward, the Shadow Fiend can rotate over. He doesn't add anything disable-wise, but he does so much damage that it takes one kind of Bramble Mace, and the whole tower is going to be gone as a result of the Luna getting killed. But just kidding, they're going the other side of the map.
Here they come. They want to defend top. They throw out a Rupture. No TP cancel with the Primal Split not being preemptively cast, so we'll get out of there. Not worth really using it just for a silencer anyways, but does feel worth defending top lane if you can still take bottom. They may not be able to do that though. TP in from Wraith King. Yang is here. He saved a point if he needs the reincarnation. Moon, be a little bit careful here. He has not got the best escape here. Freeze shows up with a Reaper. That's a big long duration kill. Potential Shadow Realm TP is available for Jab, so not sure they can actually kill him off. Shadow Realm to dodge the Wraith Fire Blast. TP on her.
Yeah, they absolutely overstayed in a big way. With the Brewmaster showing top and the Silencer TPing out, nothing was really lost for VGJ.Thunder, and Shadow Fiend's not going to be able to kill the tower that easily. So they will stick around top, though, looking to pressure. But tower's very healthy. The rotations come through with a little power shot to slow things down, and that'll pull Mineski back off and reset the game a bit.
Yeah, we'll see when their big moves are going to come. Brewmaster not anywhere near a Blink Dagger, has a Drums queued up in fact, so they're not going to go for any kind of fast like Blink initiations on their side. I do imagine, though, Yang on Wraith King for the VGJ team will be getting a fast Blink. It's typically the build we've been seeing out of the 3 position. Blink into Blade Mail gives you this good, reliable, fast initiation, and then you can capitalize on all these skeletons if you get kills by going for these quick pushes.
There's a couple heroes that he can pressure in that way. Even Bloodseeker, catch him at the right time, you can maybe kill him.
Yep.
They'll shift Bloodseeker to the safe lane, or the off lane that is, to give him some farm. Brewmaster's going to slow this down if he can.
Yep. Brewmaster hoping to defend these towers. Neither team going like fully committing to any one lane for these early pushes. Most of these games we're seeing, 5-minute tower pressure with a siege, 10-minute multiple tier 1 towers are falling or being pressured. This time around, much slower, steadier game as both teams look to farm up some of their greedier carries. The Luna on the VGJ side and the SF on the Dire side.
What do you think that is? Do you think it's just because both teams have like pretty good teamfight heroes or something like that? I mean, VGJ is now rotating to push, but
yeah, both. See if Ice gets gold. He goes for an immediate primal split, knowing he's about to be silent. Didn't actually pop a global silence to guarantee the silence, as Yang is going to try pelt away at these spirits a little bit, not doing all that much damage though. But that is primal split down, trying to secure the tier 1 now. I think VGAs have finally decided, let's get some towers. We have got really good team fight, and we can take these with ease, but it is a trade. Mushi down bottom gets a tower of his own.
That's cool. Cycloning the catapult. If you guys didn't know, if you do this on creeps, it lasts way longer. It's a relic from Warcraft 3 Dota. So in this case, actually kind of useful, lasting far longer. So. Still get the tower though, and in the meantime, Mineski still getting farm. Still very, very even game in terms of net worth.
Yep.
But
I wonder where's Shadowfiend going build-wise? Okay, he's got a Shadowblade queued up, and just gonna be. I mean, I think the lack of Blink Dagger and like big initiator makes this Shadowblade that much more effective. Top lane Brewmaster gonna get global silence up after a nice shackle shot here. Freeze is gonna get him with the Reaper kill. That'll give him a lot of regen here, so they can't easily focus down Freeze unless they get some really good burst damage going. No stuns available. Moon gets one last raise, but that's not going to finish him off, as they instead will go for Yang, who's not even going to level up his reincarnation. He knows he'll die twice. It's not worth it. He's saved one too many skill points there. He's got 2 free skill points, I believe.
they did a great job with the global. Made use of it. Got the heroes out that they needed to. Stun the SF to prevent him from getting the triple raise right at the start of the TP. So, and in the meantime, Luna is still farming, very close to finishing Mask of Madness. And this is not the same as like an Alchemist, but this is kind of the thing you have to be worried about, is her just getting fast Mask and just AFK farming for a while, and then after the course of 20 minutes or so, she just is such a good carry because of her skills.
Take another look at this fight here. Was a Wraith King stun into Shackle. Well played, good Reaper kill, and heads up play from Freeze. His TP out here, he knows he's getting a lot of good health regen from the kill that he got. He just needs to survive. Too many Mineski heroes rotated in, and it was just never going to be a fight they could take, as Wraith King did end up getting caught by a swap, so no escape available to him.
He does have enough gold for Blink, though, so I think it was pretty worthwhile rotation. I mean, they only ultied a Brewmaster, and he didn't have ulti yet, but
yeah.
It was okay.
It's one of those, it just feels like the status quo is maintained. You know, neither team really ahead, both teams still farming, waiting for their next item. No one feels bad about that, and no one feels great about what just happened.
I guess it comes down to what are they gaining instead. The Luna's got Mask of Madness finished. She's sitting around mid, ready to teamfight. That's one way that she does beat SF. She's a lot better than SF in some of these little focused teamfights than he is, unless he gets a big Requiem kill from Invis, but he doesn't have it yet.
from behind, though. Brewmaster and Willow going to try and catch him on the retreat. Terrorize potentially into a Bramble Maze, but they get the blink in, immediately stun the Brewmaster. Can they get the silence off? They will not need it. They'll burst him down with the chain stun. Jabs on the backline is going to take out Silencer, however. Can Mineski still fight this one? They've lost their Brewmaster split.
They did that so well. Like, as soon as they saw Brew, and Ice was not messing around. They didn't anticipate the creeps being there, but they instantly jumped on him and chain stunned him. And
yeah, he was not expecting that high ground ward. There was, they were in the trees where the ward didn't see, where the dire ward is, and then as soon as he started going into the lane, the Radiant ward did spot him, so they got that blink stun out immediately. Great
play from Yang there to make that fight like that. Yeah. But it's going to probably stop now. Still, Brewmaster has his ultimate. He's respawned. He can go defend this, and it'll be a rush for the bounty runes. Looking like it'll be a 2-2 here. And there's the Claymore now on Shadowfiend. So, Luna's going to passively hit jungle creeps. Shadowfiend's going to look for solo kills a little bit while pushing lanes and jungling enemy jungles. And if he can get a lot of kills out of his hero, that's where SF starts being more valuable than a Luna.
Yeah, this is a potentially scary item, since the entire Radiant team, other than Wraith King, are vulnerable to the Shadowblade Requiem. See if he can get any quick early kills with it. Luna, uh-oh, farming down bottom. Shadowblade, no, he's not going to go for it. He doesn't have it yet. Yep, you're right.
Yep, still waiting on the courier. Somebody probably needed to finish their like Wraith Band or something, you know.
Standard courier usage things, you know, double clarity. Actually, those are Moon's clarity, so to be fair, maybe he sent it back to grab those clarities. But mid lane being pressured once again. This time they'll finish it off with the siege creep. Nicely done. SF down bottom is going to probably clear this wave. Picks up the Shadowblade immediately. Can be spotted by VGJ.Thunder though, so very likely Luna is going to be playing far away from the SF.
I mean, they could pull the creep wave past at least. Going after jabs here. He's going to have Shadow Realm.
Same thing as before, you know. What are you going to do? Are you going to global silence just so you can kill me? Like, that's the only way they actually get that kill.
Okay, going to start on Wraith King.
All right, they're going to try and do the old, let's just kill him quickly twice. They kill him once.
Can they break
Brewmaster
his
split
ult?
coming out as well. No global silence being used. He immediately blinks away. Maybe with some of that immolation damage. SF from the trees. Actually going to go for a Requiem pre-global silence. Just wants to make sure he hits as many people as possible with the slow as well as that damage mitigation. The chase is on. Mineski wants some kills here. Freeze in the front lane. Has to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage from the Bedlam. And he's getting incredibly low. He's going to be brought down. Couldn't find anyone to kill off. It's Bloodseeker though on Mushi. Killed off in the side. And Yang's gone jumping in. No Shadow Realm means no way out. And Jabs takes a spill. Yang is in hot pursuit with a Blink Dagger. Could even go looking for some more in a second, but doesn't want to put himself in danger since he did lose his first life.
You can really just see how difficult it is to initiate for both of these teams here. Just constantly going back and forth, and any small mistake you make is going to be punished. And the ones that have been made are just so small that it's hard for the teams to fully commit and get a good team fight.
It's one of those things where if Wraith King doesn't get a blink off, like if they time the Wave of Terror, or if the immolation from the Brewmaster split stops the blink, that's a great fight for Mineski. Instead, it's kind of an even fight, and it could get a little bit better for them. The stun into Razors. Moon is there with Ninja Boogie to get the kill. Does he have an escape, though? They get the vision from the last word, and Moon should be brought down. No Shadow Blade available, and it's a long death. 60 seconds. He's been removed.
Did everyone TP for that one? How did everybody get there so fast?
Everyone except Fade. There was a Shrine. That's why it's so dangerous going for kills around these tier 2 towers.
Because they can TP at both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the very fast TP access. And you're TPing often behind them. So like they're retreating and they're running right into you. Like that Shrine acts as like a place you can TP to and then gank them from behind.
I thought for sure he'd get away. It was like Arcane Curse. That slow's pretty weak, but no, it's enough to catch up. And
if he TP'd immediately upon getting the kill, I don't actually know if his TP was up. That may have been the one way to escape.
So Shadow Blade working, but also resulting in getting punished.
Yeah. It's hard. Like as an SF, you almost always, the second you see a kill like on a hero like Luna, who you know is your opposing team's kind of like win condition hero, you want to go for it, but you don't often think like, oh wait, actually can I escape? Shadowblade gets you in, but it can't get you out.
Fade maybe gets spotted here. Yeah, they do see him.
Yep.
Blink Dagger is what Brewmaster is working towards, but still pretty far away, 500. Drum for now, the team fight help engage item. It helped when they ruptured mid, but I don't know if it'll be enough here. And I feel like Wraith King is just going to be scaling a bit better, although in the right circumstances, Brewmaster does have huge team fight implications, but as the game goes on and people start getting BKBs, Brewmaster starts to fall off in a big way, I feel like.
Yeah, Yang's got his Blink Blade Mail, and if he wants to keep scaling, we often have been seeing that Radiance build, although plenty of other ways Wraith Kings have played as well if they want to go for more team items like the Assault Cuirasses and Halberds and whatnot.
You could actually think of Brew and Wraith King as kind of similar heroes in the playstyle. It's like Blink Initiate, strong at team fighting, it's got some disables, can buy kind of similar B-tanky items. They're going to try to kill Freeze. Oh, this is a great grab.
Yeah.
Bloodseeker here too.
No way to get away from the silence. They can dispel off the Ghost Shroud, and there we go. They've got a stun for him.
That was sick.
They will bring down Freeze, and they've also Cycloned up. Oh, okay. They Cyclone him up, but they can't stop the Blink out. Pops his Blade Mail as well. Perhaps a bit of a panic there from the Wraith King, but not the end of the world, as VGJ do lose a Necrophos, though. So nice pickup from Mineski, but the game's still very even. Bounty runes about to appear, and it looks like they should be controlled by Mineski.
Siler instead hoping for a DD rune in front of Rosha, but other side of the map, Andy loses the bounty runes as a result. He'll protect himself with a scan while going high ground.
If he went for it, he may have died, although the scan likely would have prevented that.
That's a good point. If you waited at, Shadow Blade ulti perhaps. But Shadow Fiend is close to that. Only about 800 gold to go for his BKB. Then he's going to be able to wait until the Global Silence, pop BKB, and then ulti if possible.
We're going to be seeing these, I guess, BKBs on both sides. Luna's got one queued up, has 600 gold. SF and Bloodseeker BKBs. SF just a little bit short of his. Do you think either team deals with the BKBs better than the other?
I mean, it all comes down to Global Silence is one. If they BKB first because you're initiating, then you global afterwards, for example, because then you can still silence them despite them being magic immune. And it all comes down to chain stun as well. I mean, Wraith King stun, Shackle, and Reaper Scythe are really big, so I guess it seems a bit better for VGJ.Thunder, whereas on Mineski's
because
side,
the global silence.
and they have better chain stun by far. But
yes,
they do have Terrorize, I guess, but they don't have like a good stun initiator like VP was playing with when they were running Dark Willow.
I mean, theoretically, if you blink Wraith King stun somebody, you can try and burst and chain them with global silence, and like Venge can't swap save them if there's a global silence there.
Venge can't swap herself either. And, easy kill, but that's part of the reason that fives do move to those positions at this stage in the game, because they want to see break smokes. If it's them dying, they're only dead for 25. If that's a core, that's like 50 seconds. They will instantly get in the Roche pit though, and it looks like Roche will die before Mineski is able to respond.
They are moving this way here. Just a 5-position Venge on the sidelines here. SF, BKB on Courier. If they had that a little bit sooner, the Terrorize is just going to delay this one, and that gives enough time for Moon to finish his BKB.
When the Sentry dewards the Obs ward on the high ground too, so they've still got one on the other side of the river. They'll go high ground, pop the smoke, and they're going to initiate here.
Yeah, they really want to try and catch Mineski by surprise, but have to find a good initiation. The Shackle shot at mid, not going to be throwing there. May have caught SF off of the range creep. But
he doesn't have that much mana either. He's got a 20 stick, I guess, but this is great. They're smoking. They put the Blood Ray in the Roche pit. They know that their opponents aren't there. They're being tricky, so they're going to be tricky too.
Can either team get that good Blink Stun initiation and burst someone down? Luna in the front lines does not have a BKB. The Global Silence stop the Brewmaster split. Can they kill the Brewmaster? It looks like they can. The Reaper with the Eclipse. They've started the fight well, but the Blood Ray going to silence up a few heroes here. Wraith King, one of them though, and he's got Reincarnation. He can deal with Ninja Book if he wants to, and he's going to go straight onto him with the stun. Post Reincarnation, Mushi there though is going to force him to TP out. Yang gets the kill as he TPs on home. He barely gets out of there. Moon in trouble as well. His BKB is one off. Moon is dead at the pit. 4 Mineski heroes have fallen. Only Bloodseeker remains. Goes for the solo shrine, but VGJ, without BKBs, have won a big team fight against the double BKB of Mineski.
Yes, the team fight initiation was better for them. They popped Global Silence. They were able to kill the Vengeful Spirit. Venge couldn't do anything to protect herself. And then when the team fight spread a little bit, it was some Mineski heroes ganging up on one guy and some Thunder heroes ganging up on one Mineski guy. And the difference was one of the heroes was a Wraith King, and he respawns and then blinks out. And on the other side, it was a Dark Willow dying, followed up by an SF being chased. So good starting conditions for Thunder there, and also better spread out. And they also bursted down the Brewmaster too to start things off.
The heroes worried for VGJ.Thunder was the Luna, but she was just surrounded by teammates who acted like bodyguards, like the Wraith King on one side with the Silencer who were just protecting him, the Insta-Global Silence, the Necro on another side protecting him. No one got to this Luna who just got a full Eclipse off on the Brewmaster. And you're not winning a team fight without that Brewmaster split. Doesn't matter if you have BKBs, the Brewmaster split is crucial to kind of turn the tides and, Cyclone one hero, stun a few others, use your Dispel on the Necro.
And if the fight happens a little differently, if it's Brewmaster blinking and ulting before the Global Silence comes out, the whole lane is different. He's going to look for a solo killer on DDC, but it just gets stunned.
He's going to pay for this. The Shackle's there as well.
It looks like he's
Nice. He is just not feeling it this game. He's having a rough time. Often the star standout player for this Mineski squad is currently 2-6. And has a Vlad's almost complete. I'm very surprised he's not just going for a BKB. He is dying to this Global Silence. There's stuns as well that could catch you before you BKB, but you can also dodge a Wraithfire Blast. You can get out of a Global Silence. This is such a good BKB game for him.
And the silences are good, but I feel like it's a stun problem more so. And BKB would solve that definitely. But maybe he doesn't want to go down that path. He didn't go the health talent either. He went for damage, trying to maybe make up for his lack of carry potential on his team, maybe with the drum and the damage talent. But it's really been the stuns and the super fast reactions from Thunder. It's certainly a lot about play.
Silencer runs into a Dark Willow here.
TPing? Nope.
Didn't use any spells there, but doesn't get out in time. The TP from the Shadow Realm wasn't quite there, as Jabs will get brought down by that last right click. Bounty runes are there as
Rupture on Siler here. He's got Aegis.
He may just turn and fight. Doesn't want to use the BKB on his first life. Will go for it on his second, I imagine. VGJ.Thunder need to get in there if they're going to protect him.
They've got swap ready.
An insta BKB. Sylar, though, gets swapped under the tower. The physical damage is very good here.
Crap.
They get the stun out as well. That was a basher. And he's still surviving, though. He's in full retreat here. Sylar, can he get out of this one? The blood right there as well. They have the vision. They should be able to kill him with the split, but not quite. There's a blink clap. They get him just at the end as the fight underneath the Tier 1 tower unraveling as Moon brings down the Wraith King. His first life gone. The Requiem could potentially come out. Doesn't need it. Looks like going for the Razors instead. And this one, Mineski. They have managed to turn around that last poor fight. Taken this one themselves. Ninja Bull getting chased down. Fade's going for the swag plays, but he's getting completely baited in. He does luckily get the kill, but if he hadn't got the kill there, that would have looked really bad from him. But
is it still worth it? He gave a dominating streak to a Shadow Fiend, and
he was thinking he could get the kill and keep running north and get out of there, I feel.
And that all started from a crucial mistake there by Sylar, by getting ruptured so close to the tower. He had Aegis, he had BKB, but he just felt like he could stay a little bit longer, and that was not the case.
I thought, you know, just BKB and kind of run away. Yeah, the swap was there with the physical damage, and then suddenly got stunned. I'm like, wait, what? Mushi, he just has a basher. And what a great item pickup against these BKB heroes. Having this extra bit of lockdown proved to be instrumental there.
Yeah, I really thought after he popped BKB after the respawn, I was like, he's just going to teleport. Like, as soon as the swap came out pretty early, and I thought, he's gone. But then all of a sudden, he kept running, and the Bloodseeker started attacking him, and the amount of damage he took was crazy. Yeah. And with the attack speed talent as well, he's going an actual right-click build. Most players, I feel like, go armor, some Bloodright maybe.
Yep. And that's something we haven't really touched upon with this Mineski draft, is there's a lot of minus armor. Yep. So there's the Venge with his Wave of Terror. There's the SF with his passive. All this minus armor really starts to add up, and we'll see it here when Luna respawns. You know, this damage amplification means Sylar melts pretty damn fast. That's like 3, maybe 4 right clicks from Mushi that get him down to almost 10% health.
He also Blood Raged him was the other big thing. So Mushi making a good play there. That's amplification of, it looks like he's been high enough level, 40% likely, somewhere around there. So even with all of that magic immunity and high armor, there's a minus armor from everybody on Mineski's side and the damage amp. Just a great way to kill him.
And this is something we're seeing more and more of. Is like when there's this hero that's just going to BKB TP away from like a Rupture, get something like a Basher. You've got to swap, but Venge has to be there for it. Venge may not always be alive as a 5 position. Take the matter into your own hands
and they really are. Like I talked a lot about them not having that much carry potential, but between the Venge and the Vlads on the Brewmaster and the damage amp from Bloodseeker, it seems like they're doing way more damage than we expected.
Yep. Here go VGJ.Thunder, though. We've seen what their team fight can do when they get a good global silence off, and they are posturing around this mid lane as if they want to take a fight. At least initially, they smoke up, but they don't really go for the engagement. They're forgoing this mid creep wave for now, as the smoke will lead them down the mid lane, but not into Mineski right away.
Pretty farm Wind Ranger as well. Blink Dagger and a Yule Scepter can defend himself and initiate if needed, and again, it's what we're looking at. When's the global
Wraith
silence
King
come?
initiation. Blink Stun does not get BKB. The global silence fall. The Shackle Shot landed as well. They're going to blow up Moon. Moon's just dead. What a Shackle coming out from Fade. A sick play from him. Yang is in full chase mode here. Has a Wraith Fire Blast. Have they got the vision? No, he was hiding behind a tree. They couldn't quite get it as...
Oh, they got Mushi, though.
Okay, that's a bigger kill, potentially. BKB. Mushi. Oh, boy.
Did you see where he's TPing, man? That was right in the lane.
In plain sight. And the Reaper's there as well. They get a Reaper kill out of it. That is a big respawn time for Mushi to play around with, but...
Man, and he used BKB. There's no way he should eat BKB minimum.
Yeah.
After he got Yules, but that's a pretty huge mistake. I was going to say not awful. Losing Shadow Fiend is not good, but global silence. But now 74 seconds on Bloodseeker's respawn. He doesn't have buyback. He has a Demon Edge. Maybe bought that in the last fight on the way out, thinking, oh, I can grab this, TP away, farm. But now they just instantly lose a tier 2. Probably still would have fallen anyways, but they're going to keep going now.
Yeah. I feel like Moon also needs to take notes from that fight. The second that Wraith King blinks in, you need to react fast with your BKB. There's a long enough cast time on the Wraith Fire Blast that you should be able to BKB that, I would say, like 4 times out of 5 or so.
Yeah, I would
even if
agree.
he's blinking right on top of you, there's still that cast time that these top mid players, they react that fast, and Moon is definitely showing he can do that.
And I think you can also take the principle that your opponents are extremely good. They're not going to... It's rare that somebody will jump forward that aggressively on a hero just to try to fake out a BKB. especially when you're hitting a building like that and they have global sounds. I think you just got to anticipate it every time. As soon as the blink comes, it's always going to be Wraith King first or a blink shackle, I guess. Either way, you can probably pop BKB in time.
See
Some of
here,
those.
Fade, what a shackle to follow it up, because they weren't going to be able to chain stun him to death there. He may be on a BKB and get a Requiem or something off, but very nicely played. And, well, they couldn't get the support, but it was Mushi TPing in plain sight. Perhaps didn't realize that Fade had a Yule Scepter as well. That was the other surprise factor of that fight.
I mean, they're going to have Lucent Beam. There's a lot of things that, a lot of
well,
ways
his
to
TP
interrupt.
was like 0.1 seconds away. He was pretty far away. I mean, I'm just trying to be fair to Mushi. He was
That's true.
really far away. Only Wind Ranger caught up to him because of Wind Run plus Blink.
And the Yule Scepter movements. Yeah, there was definitely a lot going for the Wind Ranger. You didn't expect it, you're right.
Oh, Mushi.
BKBs appropriately this time.
Yep.
Props to him.
I think that's something, those preemptive BKBs can sometimes make you look bad, but that's the way you got to play Dota these days, because if you get stunned once, you're getting stunned 2, 3, 4 times, and then you don't get your BKB off. So it's better to BKB too early than not at all.
Especially against Necrophosis. That's like the scariest thing. 2 chain stuns, some of your life and you're dead.
Doesn't feel great, but Mushi, he's still alive and still farming. Can wait for the next fight to make his impact.
I do like that he's prepping for a Monkey King bar, though. There's going to be a butterfly at some point on Luna. JK, it's already there. There's also a Wind Ranger with evasion, so it's absolutely the item to rush here. And it's really not that bad of a damage item. Players starting to realize it's okay to get this early.
Yeah, it's not ridiculously expensive either, so reasonably affordable point. Radiant Scan will catch the Venge as she's TPing out, so Ninja Boogie gets out safely, and no one on the Mineski side will be caught down bottom. They are down about 6,000 gold, as we'll see a D-Ward coming out. Is that a gem? Yep, Wraith King Yang has got one. So BKB into AC.
That'll be good. It's a good way to offset all of the aura advantage that your opponents have.
Yeah, the AC seems especially necessary, and the BKB I like just because, he can go charging in the front lines, and we've seen he can very quickly die twice if he doesn't have a defensive item. So, as things stand, though, still anyone's game. Ice is probably one of the players who desperately needs a BKB of his own. Anytime he's getting caught in these fights, it's instantly death for him if he gets blink stunned.
But they're not terribly behind. 6K is quite a bit, but it's absolutely something they can come back from. I actually do like the man to pick up on Moon. If he gets his team fight preparedness ready, you can obviously remove silence, but also it's really good for dodging Wraithfire blast stuns.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't have to commit his BKB anymore, which is
just has to worry about Shackle or Lucent Beam into Shackle or Lucent Beam into stun.
Yep. And even if he does BKB it, if he has his Manta later, he can get out of the global silence. It just gives you a second option. So if you want to BKB Requiem someone, and later, and you get global, you can get out. You can still use your spells.
And he's queuing up a Hex next. Not the most common.
Yang.
Here comes the fight.
Requiem Yang. They're not going to BKB that damage. He will die once very quickly. Do they go for the second kill here? Swap still available. BKB, blink away, global silence use as well. See here, I mean, taking those preemptive BKBs to the next level. There was several BKBs used there that, obviously, from a spectator perspective, don't look necessary.
So would Bramble Maze catch you instantly?
It should, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine. He did BKB for that just to be safe. And that was kind of a nice... It's kind of what justified that whole thing. Because when he ulties him, I thought, it's going to be his ultimate. He's still got a BKB. His team can back him up. But forcing a stun like that, that's going to force him to BKB. Else he dies was a good way to make that really valuable. Because Reincarnation is back up again, but no BKB on Wraith King. Maybe they can win a fight now.
Yeah. And this is the time to win. And both teams posturing around Roshan. They know it's the next big important objective.
They got to get rid of this ward, though. It's spotting everything on Mineski's side. They don't have a gem of their own. They've got plenty of sense, but don't think they realize it's there just yet.
Yep, they do now. They drop the sentry down. Jabs takes it out. Nice just standing in the pit here. Not going to achieve all that much there, but...
MKB finished on the Bloodseeker now. So
okay.
queuing up an AC. Long ways to go, but...
If he can get on top of this Luna, a Ruptured Luna, that is going to look a whole lot better for him. Yeah. Has only got a 6-second BKB, so... And that's
true.
Definitely the part where this short BKB doesn't feel all too great after those multiple usages. Because if you want to go on this Luna, you want the longest duration possible so you're not getting stunned and kited.
I'd be really concerned about Reaper Scythe and Eclipse are the two just magic damage-based sources that BKB is nice to help prevent.
Well, both teams running towards each other at this top bounty rune. They are spawning soon, and both teams thought they could get it. Yang Seen him in before, just going through his reincarnation. He's going to BKB to dodge some stuns here. Shackle Shot going to land on Ninja Boogie, so that's going to perhaps remove Venge from the fight. Ninja Boogie, though, still alive. Very tanky on the Venge, just with a bracer. And you see the Requiem immediately follow the respawn. He committed the BKB for the first life, so Wraith King didn't have it for the second. Nicely played by Moon to get that kill. The chase is on for Freeze. The Brewmaster split, allowing them to just have this great catch, this amazing teamfight control, as they're going to bring down the Necrophos as well and go on to the next couple of heroes. DDC on the Silencer has Global Silence in one, doesn't get a chance to use it. Not
They're
sure
buying
he
back.
wanted to anyways. As they do buy back, they really want to make sure Mineski don't get Roshan, but I don't know if that's up to them because they still have 2 more dead. Silencer buys back. They've got Global Silence now, but
Yeah.
still no Wraith King.
That felt more to me like we think Luna might die because we're kind of being run down right now. We're not able to stabilize. And really, really good fight from Mineski. They made so much content. That was like a 4K catch-up here.
Yeah, those buybacks is where the gold lead can very quickly disappear, even when it's just supports. But
Another smoke from Mineski for 4 of their heroes, while SF will play around Invises and a Haste Rune as well.
Yep. Luna has a Satanic, so some extra sustain, but also no buyback. So a potential Roche fight that could come if Luna dies, you know.
Yeah.
It could just be game over.
They would love to grab the SF if they can. I mean,
Wraith King
ultimately,
keeping in.
I think... Oh, can they grab him? Yep, there's the Disable. He's got BKB again.
Even just taking his first life might be okay, although it is that short 40-second cooldown. Mineski get cold feet. They don't have Primal Split. It's probably not wise for them to take that fight when their 2 other cores are elsewhere on the map.
And you could see the damage discrepancy. They need a Bloodseeker, they need a Shadow Fiend to hit that guy to guarantee his easy death.
They are in the pit. I believe the wave caught at least a glimpse of vision. It also reduced Roshan's armor, so
okay, they've got
VGJ a
Satanic.
little helping hand. There's the Blood Right, giving some vision here. We'll silence up Sylar. He's confident about this, even without the buyback here. He feels like this is a fight he can take. Primal Split goes out. Brewmaster, who's he going to go for here? The Curse Crown catching a few. The Shackle Shot on the Primal Split. Warriors, the Silence is there. The Necrophos is just flying in the air. Sylar needs a lifesteal. He's doing that. He can hold his ground against Muji. That's the important thing here, not getting patched up. Moon needs to find a good BKB Requiem. There's no more Global Silence. Moon does it from the other side. Roshan's still low. Sylar really wants it. Who's going to get the Aegis? Terrorize. It pulls him out. What a great play from Jazz. He's getting the Bedlam off. Amazing Roche fight from Mineski, but they lose the Shadow Fiend. He's got buyback. Is he going to commit to it? Mineski still holding their ground. Unfortunately, that's because they've been shackled. 2 heroes held in place. They've taken out a Silencer as well. The Wraith King down, but he has the reincarnation. He blinks into an AoE stun. Mineski wants Roshan. Fade wants it as well. He's not going to get it. He's going to feed away a gem and his life. Mineski have secured themselves a much needed Roshan. Luna is dead without buyback for 60 seconds. Luckily, SF is not alive, or they could just go for the high ground. Oh boy.
That team fight was a frickin' roller coaster, man. I thought Mineski was screwed when that Satanic full healed the Luna, and then the Bloodseeker got out of there at low HP. I thought there's no way they're going to clean up this fight, but they slowed it down. The crucial thing was when they reinitiated into the Roche pit, they didn't hit Roche. They just started killing VGJ.Thunder heroes.
Kill the heroes.
And when they did that, it's like, oh, well, okay, we can't actually do this. We're too low. We're not going to help you kill Roche. And they just started blowing up Luna. And then from there, the fight was just clean up and take the Aegis.
No SF, no problem. They're going high ground. There's no buybacks on anyone except Wind Ranger, who's just no point buying back. You've got to wait for your teammates anyways. Necro's going to try and delay this. They're going to get at least a tier 3 tower. Quite likely a melee Rax here if they want to be brave. But there's also 10 seconds to Luna. I'm not sure if they feel like they've got the time. They're going to throw the Primal Split so they can just delay, throw some heroes up in the air. That's exactly what they're going to do, and back off with the melee Rax. Double damage on the little support Veg, but even that packs a punch. As they get a melee Rax, they get out. Mineski got to be feeling a whole lot better about this game at the moment.
No kidding. And really hoping at least that Necro's not so farmed that even as Ags. Like his cooldown, his ulti is very limited, and Mineski played around that fight just so well.
Oh man, some of the supporting cast landing their spells. The Brewmaster getting the Cyclone on the Necro at the start. He's flying in the air, and that Terrorize was just godly from Jabs.
I forgot about that too. Yeah, that was really good.
SF, he died. He was the one big Mineski hero to die, but at least he got his BKB Requiem off from the other side of the pit, so he got that damage mitigation. He slowed Luna and reduced her damage, and that was after Luna had used Satanic, after she'd used BKB, so there wasn't really much Sylar could do at that point.
So they get the tower, they get the Rax, they get a Shrine bottom. They still will have the Shrine top. Arguably the more important since it's so close to Roche, but they have so much time until the next respawn to deal with that. They just need to pick off here or there, and they can be in a super commanding position.
Is it that desperate? Sylar's got a Rapier queued up. I didn't really feel like it's a must-buy Rapier kind of situation. At the same time, I'm not sure there's an obvious bigger item to get.
They're lacking carry potential is certainly
Yeah?
the issue. Like things like Dagon on Necro, I think was a big mistake this game actually, because if they just beat the Luna and she dies, then past that they get one Requiem kill, and that's
Okay.
all. If Necro has maybe, I don't know if a Radiance is the right move, because there are a lot of BKBs and right clickers and stuff, but they needed some other carry potential. Wraith King's not doing it, he's gone utility, he's playing well, but that's not carry potential. The Wind Ranger has gone all utility. They have like 3 to 4 utility heroes and not enough hard carry.
That's very true. Not much damage output coming out, so Luna's going to have to do it all herself, and Mineski, they've got several heroes scaling. Bloodseeker, SF, both doing good damage. You saw in that last fight, Dark Willow, that Bedlam, all that magic damage coming out, that was kind of comparable to what like a Necro impact in a fight is from a support.
Yeah.
So, Mineski now, Aegis in hand on the Brewmaster, not really the ideal hero, but in all that chaos, I think you take it on anyone, you can. Cheese is on the Bloodseeker, who has an AC of his own now, so that's some armor, attack speed. Perhaps that, you know, hold your ground and fight the Luna could work a bit better with this extra armor as well as the attack speed to give you a few more bashes.
I'm kind of curious what Shadowfiend will grab for his 25. It seems like he does have a lot of cooldown reliant items, so
Yeah.
that feels quite good. I think I would pass it up over the Presence talents.
I mean, that game we saw SF get Presence Health was the first time I've ever seen it. Even on the right-click build, I still almost always see the cooldown reduction.
I mean, it's BKBs down to a, what is 70 times subtracting 40% of that,
Yeah.
so it's got to be like,
It's like
what,
40
seconds?
40 to 42 or something, yeah.
So put your Hex down to like a 13-second cooldown or something.
Yes.
That's incredible for an item. And even lower Manta cooldown and lower Shadow Blade, all that stuff is benefited. You can Shred Swap more often.
It's a similar thing to the Drow cooldown reduction. It's like you just want to get it because you're always going to have the BKBs, a Shadow Blade, these kind of items which benefit heavily from it.
Looking to grab. Can they get a Terrorize on these guys?
Going in, as Jab's going to try and throw it. The Lotus Orb preemptively cast on Silo. Didn't look like they were going to fight, and actually Ice spotted in the trees. He's still chasing here. Can't blink because of the skeletons. Goes for the Courier instead, as he gets cycling. But
it was a nice play from Wind Ranger to try to save. He preempted that, but unfortunately the attack came off a little too fast. So nice grab. Queuing up a Octarine Core on Permaster, a place that I didn't really expect Ice to be this game.
Okay.
When he was having trouble getting chain stance and chain stun.
Yeah.
But
he had the AC earlier queued up, but that's already been purchased, so
yep.
No need.
Buy whatever he wants, more or less. Shivas could be good, maybe lower some attack speed of the enemy team.
Yeah.
But again, it's just kind of Luna, so maybe not worthwhile.
There's no like obvious this is the item you kind of want right now.
Yep. Exactly.
Every like an Octarine is kind of nice.
Radiance
Halberd could even
maybe.
be okay. Radiance sounds okay for the mischance. Disarm, like it's
Yeah, it's a lot of options.
Yep.
BKB covers all the defensive stuff, so
yeah. And then there's the other like team items like the Lincolns and Lotus Orbs if you feel you need those, but doesn't seem essential.
So
VGJ have like they're going double Lotus Orb here. I'm a bit
yeah.
surprised that they're getting so many of them.
It's a rupture solution a bit. Swap, same thing. Counteract that. Counteract. Remove
Yeah.
Terrorize. Well, actually, I don't know if it does that. Probably
I'm
not.
not sure
Removes
about
Curse Crown
Terrorize.
prior
Yeah.
to Explosion.
Okay.
Remove Bramble Maze. There's a lot of good things that it'll be able to take care of. But certainly the Rupture one. I mean, that would just disable Bloodseeker for 12 seconds in a team fight.
Yeah.
Done.
And it's like a small window where Luna won't likely get Hex. I mean, you still can Hex her and it'll get
True.
bounced back, but if you put on your Luna like while she's sieging or in the front lines, lower chance she dies by getting Hexed.
Yeah. At least they are reading the team fight, are in the game in a really good way. Knowing that you can remove silences too, I guess, but knowing that at around this time is when the hexes do start coming out, and it's very important sometimes that you prep that ahead of time.
Yep. Well, here we go, VGJ. They've moved out of their base. They're making a bold move here.
He's
But
ready.
smoke gets popped and immediately Ice blinks backwards.
And then he says, "Come on, guys, come on." I mean, he's just trying to bait this out. He knows there's the BKB, but trying to start the fight. There's a Hex.
Coming in, the Hex is out on the Wraith King in the front lines here. The BKB is being popped early. Ice goes in with his. Wants to go on Yang here. Can they bring down this Wraith King once, let alone twice? We'll have to find out. He's a good frontliner for this. So on the Primal Split pop before he goes down. The Rupture does come out. They're going to get a good Terrorize off of this one here. That's Global Silence. Keeps things kind of nice and calm for now. Allows VGJ to retreat here. They're just trying to get out here, back onto the Highlines here. But Fade, who was caught by that Rupture, just had no escape. And he gets blown to pieces. But just a Wind Ranger kill for all of that Hullabalooza.
Some BKB, some Global Silence, but Yeah, not the best for Mineski, but considering how in-base VGJ.Thunder is, I think they're still going to feel good about this.
Yeah.
They definitely felt very in control that whole fight. Looking for the swap force, but instead it's going to be Wraith King going in.
That's a okay catch if they can kill him quickly and then look to set up for a second kill, but that's not the case here. Instead, Ninja Boogie in all sorts of trouble on the front lines. I think they realize Mineski, they've messed up their initiation. The Hex was committed, and they just need to get the hell out. Also, go back, grab these bounty runes. Let the Venge die, grab 4 bounty runes. That's an economic win.
It's a nice little prize, I guess, for losing that little engagement. Roche is still, it could respawn instantly. You never know. Here comes, we'll find out the timer in just a second, and it will be a 1-minute respawn, about 30% of the potential length, 20% perhaps.
Those bounty runes were like a 3,000 gold swing when you get 4 of them at this stage.
Yeah, it's like 120 gold per hero or something. Abyssal Blade on Bloodseeker, ready to lock down the cores that he finds. I do like this. In the right games, this is a fun Bloodseeker way to play. Go health, attack speed, lifesteal, but definitely a hero that can be very variable. And there it is, guys. First Rapier of TI that I've seen. I don't know. First that I've seen, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen them queued up, maybe. I don't know if there's actually been one, but keep an eye on Sylar. Not level 25 yet. That's his 25% lifesteal talent, unless he wants to go for the mini stun, which is, you know, a decent talent in certain situations, particularly when you have Ags, but game like this...
It's pretty good as it is, too. I mean, the stun duration isn't permanent or anything, but if their BKBs are down, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like this constantly mini stun, stopping attack, stopping a spell here or there. It's very annoying. Blink Shackle on Ice Ice Ice, the immediate swap out with the Lotus Orb on Ninja Boogie. And it's BKB from Ice Ice Ice, they go charging forward here. Luna has the Rapier, gotta be careful how you play around her in this team fight. The Global Silence was used, so VGJ may just want to back off their courier. Oh no, that's Mineski's courier hovering over the Roshan pit. It scouts out the fact Roche has respawned. Also that VGJ.Thunder are not in the area.
And Mineski's not wasting any time here. Papa Smoke. They didn't catch jabs though, but he's got a gem. They can spot for wards, and there aren't any here.
Planning here. VGJ.Thunder, meanwhile, staying on the Mineski side of the map, and the creep equilibrium is slightly better for Thunder here in the mid lane for now, but the mid racks going down means it will not remain that way.
They're both on the same page, basically. Look at a courier snipe. It's if they want it, they don't want to reveal their position though, and the courier being pulled back now is it's kind of a funny moment here. Radiant scans and a invis on Shadow.
Thunder's just pinging down mid. They're like, Mineski's behind us, I believe. Let's just, you know, push out mid, force them back. Luna kills one wave, maybe considers another, but doesn't want to expose herself. Instead, it could be Wraith King. And Ice Ice Ice, he's just like, all right, this Roach pit, it's mine. I'm not going to kill Roach, but I'm going to set up a little campfire, make some s'mores.
He's got BKB in 5, and I think that's when they're going to be pretty happy
Yang,
to fight.
once again, running in forward. This is an ideal way to start a fight for VGJ in a sense. Brewmaster blinks past. They do have the Wraith King going on first. He is the guy with Reincarnation. Has a BKB for when he respawns here. Sylar getting rooted up. He's going to be getting stunned up. Does manage to dispel it, though.
If they can terrorize in this moment, it'd be so good, actually, because they're going to run straight into the enemy team.
Both teams so cautious about this fight. Mineski have this giant 15k gold lead, but they know what a Rapier Luna can do.
If they lose a huge fight, it would be so big. That'd be Aegis Cheese, Refresher Shard, absolutely could offset this gold advantage they have.
As for Thunder, they want to wait for this reincarnation 12 seconds before it's back up, and both bottom and top lane are pushing in pretty hard. Thunder need to address this. Gonna go in with the Hex immediately on the Wraith King here. His second life is up in 3 seconds. He can't afford to die. Yang, he's dead. He was just about to have the reincarnation. He doesn't have buyback now as well. They do lose the SF on the side. Sylar with his rapier damage just doing so much damage. He gets swapped back and he BKBs though. He's being bashed here. The Reaper's there to deal with Mushi during this one, and Mushi's going to be healing up himself, but just not enough. Sylar's damage is too much to deal with. SF's buyback is going to try and settle things down a bit, but Bloodseeker actually does not have one. I don't believe Thunder are able to push or do too much here. In fact, both teams probably going to be eyeing off Roshan once again. A 5k gold swing in Thunder's favor. Refresher Shard awaiting.
That was so close to being a little bit of a win there, getting the Rapier on the Luna. They went for it, but Mushi was not standing right next to the Venge, and as a result, the Abyssal was just a little delayed. He got one Satanic hit off, and as a result, he healed too much. They weren't able to finish him after the stuns, so very close to a turnover of the Rapier.
I like Frieza's mindset, too. He just immediately Reapers Mushi, despite the fact he's full health with BKB on. He knows he has to keep his Luna alive, and that stun duration, that 1.5 second stun, may be what that Luna needs to get that Satanic lifesteal off, so.
Wind Ranger thinking about trying to steal here, but...
Refresher Willow, double Terrorize.
That's pretty good.
That sounds pretty scary.
Kind of interesting. Venge went for the magic missile cooldown here. I would have maybe thought Venge Aura, but
Ah.
the team fights are pretty spread out, so maybe it just makes more sense once you hit
5-second
25.
cooldown is so low.
It is, especially when you
getting
get the Pierce's spell immunity one. That one's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And you got to imagine that's where he's going. A BKB Luna on the other side.
With a
You wanna have
rapier.
that- yeah, with a rapier. You want to have that low stun cooldown and just spam it as much as possible in fights. And you're probably with an Ags queued up, so does he actually have it completed? No, he's still got a ways to go.
Kind of like that idea. I think it's going to be a while till he can finish it, but it's not too bad. About 2,000 away.
If he ever gets there, it's one of those things where it's can be so high impact just having a second life for another swap save or another stun. These fights, you know, if they draw out a bit, that's where the BKBs wear off, and you need all the disable you can get to handle Luna.
And not even the life longevity, it's also the low cooldown, actually, because that more likely that he can save somebody, and then later when a Rupture comes out, go for a Rupture swap, just for damage purposes. You could Rupture, you could swap twice for one Rupture, actually, if you have Eggs on Venge, because it lasts for 12 seconds. So.
And even if it's max range, it does full damage because it's 1200, right?
Yeah, something.
Because
yeah,
1200 is the limit, I believe, where it still does damage.
I think you're right. It's
I'm
around,
not sure if
it's around there.
if it's at 1200 exactly, if it still does damage. I don't know that mechanic. Because I know, like with Quap Blink, it's you have to do the max range blink and then like move a step and you don't take damage. There's some like fancy trick to it.
I think you're right because the blink dagger is 1200. Yeah. So maybe something he's thinking about. He's doing a great job staying alive. His main focus in these fights is helping them kill the Wraith King and then Wave of Terror in the same time he respawns so that he can't get a blink off. And he's been nailing it the last 3 or so fights. It's really impactful. Make sure that their initiations on the Wraith King are still going to matter.
Well, that's damage. You know, even if he BKBs on respawn, it pierces spell immunity that Wave of Terror. So good way to stop some of these BKB blinks and whatnot.
Brew queuing up a Shiva's Guard. Actually, he finishes it now.
Yeah, he didn't go for the Octarine core in the end.
I actually really like it at this point now. It's not just going to be the attack speed slow, it's also he can Shiva's blink in and do some damage.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense here. The game is kind of back to even-ish. Mineski's still in at least the similar place it was before. Mineski have Aegis and Cheese and Refresher Shard, but if VGJ.Thunder are basically saying, we're just going to, play on our side now. We're not going to fight into an Aegis. You'll still have Cheese and Refresher, but we can just defend high ground. That's where Luna, is going to look a whole lot scarier if she can just have the high ground advantage.
No new items on her in a bit.
We could potentially start seeing attempts at the swap initiation into like insta-hex. Ninja Boogie may become the initiator. And he can get good vision with the wave. If he sees Luna and you swap into an insta-hex, that is just game over right there almost.
So their defensive options if that happens, they've got Glimmer Capes, Lotus Orbs, they could Global Silence, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So if Mineski does this correctly, it could be pretty incredible damage. But Moon doesn't have anything like a Daedalus.
There's no like insta-spell save like Disruptions that can bail him out.
Exactly.
Your traditional like hard saves, I guess. Yang in the front lines. Level 22. Brewmaster got level 25, went for the Primal Split cooldown, so he can essentially be spamming the Primal Split. I say that as he goes to use it just to push out some lanes, it looks like, or even go for like a Cyclone initiation / scout.
Yeah, it's a good way to go. It's a 15-second downtime, basically. 20-second up, 15 down.
Yep.
Pretty slow. Oh, snipes a courier. All right, it's worth it. Good ulti.
All right.
That's why he did it. He knew there'd be a courier in the mid lane, and
that's one way to go about it. Silent 4k gold, so even should he die and lose a rapier, he has buyback, and even without this rapier, he still is a force to be reckoned with if his team has an okay fighting position.
This is going to be one of those crazy games, Gods. It kind of feels like that right now.
Yeah, so even if he loses rapier, none of these Dire heroes, I mean, they're pretty good rapier heroes, Bloodseeker and SF, but it's definitely not on par with the Luna.
He's actually just hitting buildings with his Earth.
He's slow sieging. The Demolish, the bonus 270 damage from the Earth Panda is not something to ignore.
It is actually pretty scary to play Brew versus Luna in most situations, though. Like, if you ever go to fight the Luna and she's focusing on your splits, you're going to die very rapidly. But the Shiva's helping.
Is he just going to use another split and keep on slow sieging here?
That's kind of what it feels like. I mean, their team fight is so good.
Yep. Once again, goes in. Send in the Earth Panda. Or they're going to send SF Illusions bottom. So distract there, send the Pandas elsewhere, go for this mid-range racks. No one wants to commit on the Mineski side. They know this is probably not going to end too well for them. Earth Panda's finishing off the mid-range racks. There's going to be a swap in. There's the swap hex. They bring down Fade. Good start.
That was so sick. Well, and they did it at the same time as the distraction of the Brew splits.
Yep.
They thought it was going to be the slow siege thing, but instead they go for a kill.
Imagine, and now we can start even sending those splits top, which is even further away from this bottom lane. Moon just goes walking in with an Aegis, going to start chipping away at the racks here.
It's a great man to dodge.
Wants to just force the glyph, we'll get it, and there's the buyback from Wind Ranger. Mineski have figured out a formula to success here. Earth Panda going in now too, looking to slow siege this bottom racks here. Brings back the Earth Panda, as he realizes, hey, wait a second, I sent all 3 pandas in, I can't afford to let these die.
Yeah. He tosses the Luna in the air, but again, if she's cycloned, he's happy to take some right clicks, but until then, sits back, and they'll back for now.
So that is
Bounty
the
runes.
Aegis down. And Bounty Runes, yeah.
Okay.
Bounty Runes coming up, but I think the big part was, yeah, they just lost Aegis on SF, so he can't siege, and they probably recognize that Thunder may try to go aggressive on them.
So more and more items getting completed here. So Bloodseeker is still waiting for his 6th, actually. That's the one guy that could really use some nice item infusion, but doesn't have that much time to hit creeps, to be honest.
Yep.
Most of the time it has to be SF because he's so much quicker at moving around the map and less likely to get killed by himself.
Man, this Silencer is wishing he got his GPM talent. I'm very surprised to see him go for the instill.
Get a swap in,
Swap
and it's
in.
going to be a...
Dead
there he
Silencer.
is. He's like, you know...
Wraith King taking a lot of damage down bottom. Yang forced to BKB. Gets
Okay.
ruptured. Glimmered. May go for a blink out. Nope, he gets blinked on by Ice. That's his first life, and he's not going to have a BKB when he respawns. He's in trouble. He gets instantly hexed. The buybacks are coming out. Silencer has a global silence. Refresher from Jabs. He's going to have another terrorize here, potentially. Is he going to go for this one? Bramble Mace trying to get it on top of the Luna as she BKBs immediately on the ground. What a shackle! Sylar with the rapier going to take out the SF with a Reaper
It's a
kill.
buyback.
He's dead for 3 minutes without a buyback. Vengeance dead as well. The SF Illusion's trying to take a range track, but that's not doing anything at all. They're in full chase fade. His buyback is trying to get him in there. Can he find anyone? Doesn't look like it. From behind his Jabs, he knows he can get scouted here. He's pesky. He's annoying. He may even get a kill. DDC's got to be careful. Has got the Glimmer Cape. Blink away from Jabs with a Bramble Maze. He's being cute. He's being fancy here, but he's being chased down as well. Another Shadow Realm in a couple of seconds. He is just so hard to freaking kill. Shadow Realm, TP. What are you going to do about it, guys? Tower shot him. There we go.
Veil. They have some options.
Woo.
Man, I really didn't think that fight was going to go well. I saw the shackle and I was like, okay, that's cool, cute shackle. It doesn't matter. Nah, not really. But it was SF. They didn't have, I mean, Lotus Orbs weren't going to save him, but Lincoln's may have from an ally, and he just gets burst.
SF buyback is back. It was just on cooldown for another like 30 seconds. It just came back up. So not the end of the world for Mineski, but having to use these buybacks could be bad. Right now the situation does look like VGJ.Thunder pushing down this bottom lane. They've left Silencer back home to defend. He's trying to build, you know, another Lotus Orb or something it looks like as well, but he's just going to be telling his team, you know, no global.
They got to buy back now, right? Like, you can't let a Luna kill your tier 3 and start hitting buildings. That's when everything dies.
At the same time, losing one lane of racks at this point in the game doesn't mean too much.
It's true, I
Kind of about that
suppose.
crazy, but everyone's 6-slotted, one lane of racks, yeah, whatever.
They do zone him back a little bit.
Yep.
BKB popped on Brewmaster to try to slow this down. I mean,
Just Willow buying back, I think, scared them off here because they do not want to be losing items here.
and honestly, like, letting the SF tick down is actually really important at this point because that's 2 deaths in a row that he's had that were from buybacks. So the duration was just so high that if he bought back again, it would be like 200 seconds the next time, and that could be.
I've
at a
never
crucial
seen the
moment.
200 plus, but it is possible.
That was a great lineup for it if they bought back instantly
Yep.
there.
And Luna, somewhat importantly, can have buyback with a backup rapier, if you want.
I kind of thought it was going to get to that moment after the
Yeah.
way the last couple fights went. So
Are
He
we
did.
going to see another one be purchased or not? Could also drop the treads and, you know, upgrade. I'm not sure what you get. Dataless maybe, if you don't want another rapier in there.
yeah, if you're worried about movement
Or
speed,
you may
can
just get double rapier. Let's see it. Let's
S
see.
and Y.
Oh, Moonshot. Okay.
Data Moonshard. Okay, still has 3,000 surplus.
Yeah, not
good spot.
rapier gold surplus though.
They're gonna find DDC briefly.
They-
Oh, sorry. These
I
are
like this
allies.
from Mineski, that they're just keeping their courier in the Roshan pit. They're being very proactive, just scouting it out every few seconds here. They're also not finding the courier on the VGJ side. Even when on the back foot, Mineski are constantly trying to get whatever small little edges they can.
They do have a new gem, by the way. If they lose this one, this would be really bad then for Mineski.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's got to be a backup one now, surely, on the Radiant side.
They have one on Wraith King, and they can. You can't actually check whether they can buy them or not in the shop. I don't believe anymore.
I thought there was maybe one more in the game, but haven't seen
Okay.
it yet. Okay, they do eventually get
find
the
the
courier, but
That's. Oh, I don't mind that. That's the
too.
amount of gold it gives at this point. Not that big.
ooh,
You
that
can
was-
buy a second courier if you really need to.
This was a buyout actually from Necrophos. He needs about 350, so hypothetically he can get this before the next fight, but this could be an exploitable moment here. Smoke gets popped by Mineski. They're looking for the initiation. Is it going to be the rupture swap? They're just trying to get the creep wave pushed out, and SF's not there.
Or the swap in the Hex. Actually, SF is going to gun down, look for this bottom lane while his team,
do.
Sylar, Shackle Shot going to catch out too. Sylar's backing up with some big damage.
Oh,
Bloodseeker
man.
and Veg get deleted immediately. SF is not going for that bottom rack, did not feel safe to do so. And buyback immediately from Bloodseeker. I think they realized Roche is coming back up. It was almost a max duration Roche respawn, I believe, or at least fairly long, so Mineski want Roshan, and they're not even going to wait to see what VGJ.Thunder do. They just buy back immediately.
It's a very scary moment here. One lost fight from Mineski is going to be very likely a huge momentum swing where they're super behind, and Moon looking for an initiation. He's got the Silver Edge.
Now. That's a very helpful item. Fade is just going to spam this Lincoln's on top of Sylar with the Lotus Orb. All about Sylar.
Especially if he can hit 25 and have cooldown reduction on it.
Oh, that would be
slap that baby on him all the time.
fantastic, yeah.
Sylar very hard to kill in the mid lane.
You just can't really afford to go on him. And with the Lincolns there, you can't use that swap initiation, which has worked for some of these other kills. You've got to go looking for that Wind Ranger again, especially if Wind Ranger's not putting the Lincoln's on himself, but Fade playing around the invis from the Wind Run. Built-in Shadow Blade to that skill makes him very pesky to deal with in these late game scenarios where detection is kind of a limited resource.
They're working on eggs for Wraith King as well. This could really make the game scary here. If Luna gets killed...
Does she keep the rapier?
The rapier stays on her hero until the ghost goes away.
Oh.
So you used to be able to go rapier with that and then TP back to base. And keep your rapier every time.
You can't do that
All right,
anymore.
they blink forward.
Okay.
You can just stun it. I think that's a solution.
Oh.
Bloodseeker.
They get the Hex.
That was a spyback.
No. Mushi gets swapped out. Ninja Boogie's there to save the day. Moon gets the Requiem off of the trees. Has a BKB as well. Moon needs to be careful, though. Fight kind of breaking out here. A lot of damage coming out. The Luna's got to just tear apart Mineski if they can't address it. Mushi's trying to hold his ground. He bashes it. He gets the Abyssal as well. Mushi, he actually wins the fight. He brings him down. Rapier on the ground here. Both Silencer and Necro cannot buy back. Wind Ranger dead as well. There's no buybacks. Mineski have won this team fight. Mushi with the bash is just too damn good. Wraith King, he's the last to die. That's why this fight goes so poorly. He's meant to be the first in, the first to die. And Mineski have somehow won it. Necro buyback. Okay, he's got it in 5 gold. Wraith King doesn't have it for 2 minutes, and Mineski going to make sure they get the Roshan first.
He's got all these pieces of his eggs. It doesn't matter. He didn't have buyback either way, but the Roche will go to them. Mushi grabs it, and ultimately that was Ninja Boogie being ready for that. Pulls the swap on Mushi, guarantees that he lives, and again, that's the same problem we saw in the other games. They don't want to blow stuff on the Venge. It's not enough. They want to kill the core heroes.
Yep. And he swapped from such a good place. Like, they completely lost vision and sight of the Bloodseeker, and then Bloodseeker is able to get back into the fight at the perfect time, get on top of Luna, who does have a new rapier. Sylar ready to defend once more. He's going to be so careful. A potential swap in could be coming his way. SF isn't here at the moment. SF's still at the secret shop. He needs to get with his team in the mid lane, it looks like. That's where the swap into the Hex play could be made. The swap is there into a Terrorize, but Sylar, he BKBs it. He turns the Shackle again. Fade's so good, but his Luna deleted from the game. Mushi's physical damage is just too much at this point, and the throne is exposed. Mineski have taken game 1. It looks shaky at various times, but what a way to close it out. What a couple of team fights at the end. Whew.
That was stressful to watch. I cannot imagine being on, especially Mineski's side. It's like they had this advantage. They were pushing it. They had map control. They just were trying to blow down some Raxes, but they just couldn't get it. And then losing hero into buyback, into buyback, into buyback, and those rapiers were so scary. I actually can't believe that Mushi killed the Luna the first time. He was like 1v3, BKB on, fighting for his life, gets the Abyssal, gets the bash. If Luna gets one attack off there with a Satanic, she heals like at least like 40% of her health in one attack. And that could have been her staying alive, winning the fight, and VGJ.Thunder killing Mineski instead, and the game just being over the other way. It's crazy how close that game was.
Mushi's a guy, you know, he has some unconventional item builds. This one I wouldn't say unconventional, but it was the perfect item build. If he goes for any of those other Radiance-esque item builds, doesn't go for the pure right-click damage, even the level 10 talent going for the attacks, but he's like, I want to get as many bashes as possible, I want to scale, I want to be a carry. Abyssal, Butterfly, AC, MKB, every single item was designed for like that 1v1 combat against Luna. I'm going to get in Luna's face, I'm going to be bashing her, she's going Satanic, I'm going to Abyssal her.
And he made so many good plays. I forgot that when you could Blood Rage yourself with Bloodseeker through BKB, Mushi's turning that on its head. Every single time that Sylar was stunned, he Blood Rages the Luna to amplify his damage and his Shadow Fiends. That's why they killed her so fast every time that she got stunned.
Wow, what a fantastic way to start this series. That's just game 1. We've got another game coming your way, everybody. Stay tuned as we'll bring you game number 2 of VGJ.Thunder versus Mineski. We've got a second game between these two fantastic teams, VGJ.Thunder and Mineski, really butting it out there in game number 1.
Yeah, really tense game. It felt like Mineski had kind of a commanding lead at some stage, but it was kind of close for the entirety of the game, especially the last 20 or 25 minutes.
Once that rapier came online, it suddenly felt like, this second win for VGJ.Thunder. They won a couple of fights in a row, got some really nice shackles too.
Yeah.
But wasn't enough. One big fight.
And it's like one of those tense moments where you know that you're stronger, and they'd maybe play more aggressive if there wasn't a rapier, but they know that if there is a rapier and they win the fight, the game's over. But they know that if they make a little mistake and there's a rapier, their whole team gets wiped, and it's like, oh man, everything gets really scary because they have so much more damage than they would have had before. So it was definitely the right item in the moment, for sure, as much as the Luna was important, and we'll see if it changes game 2 in the draft.
All right, let's hop on into that draft as it is just beginning with the first couple of bans. Nothing too crazy going down now. Well, a little bit crazy. Weaver TB first 2. TB was banned out second stage last time. VGJ.Thunder probably one of the few teams you do really want to prioritize banning TB against because of Sylar.
I don't think I've seen a single other player actually pick the hero though. So maybe it's the Sylar guy, I guess. So a little different. Less supports banned in the first phase. We'll see if Mineski sticks on the same track that they did before. They're kind of sticking to similar heroes, I guess. The Shadow Fiend last pick was a little curious to see how it would work out. Oh, and something else interesting. VGJ.Thunder decided to pick Radiant in this match, and Mineski picked second pick, I believe, right? Yeah.
I did not. I can show me a check.
I can't remember the which one is which.
Let's see. Radiant was picked first by VGJ, and then Mineski chose first pick.
First pick. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Prioritizing Radiant, and then first pick, which is I think I've seen one team choose second pick, and I've seen also one team who chose Dire. I think it was Serenity who prioritized Dire actually.
Okay. It seems like VP did as well, I would assume, based on how their 2 games went.
Yeah.
Because it was like same draft, same order both times, so or same side, same order both times. So.
Yeah.
And another Sylar ban, they went for the Luna, so it seems like that's the guy they're scared of, and I don't blame them too much. They have a lot of good players. Freeze has been effective, but not incredible, I guess. And Sylar has definitely felt like a big threat many times in team fights.
Yep. As for VGJ.Thunder, Nature's Prophet, Enchantress, and Io. A bit more of the standard TI8 meta-ish heroes that we're seeing being banned out from their side. They first picked the Wraith King, which was last picked last game. But it's a hero that's been first pick worthy a lot of these times. I don't mind it in the first pick just because it doesn't really reveal too much. It is flexible as a 3 position, a 1, or even a 4. I don't think we've really seen 5 position Wraith King.
Yeah, that's true. I still think the one good solution is Venge, though. So maybe we'll see VGJ.Thunder go down that path instead of maybe their more typical supports. But it definitely does create a lot of things that Mineski has to worry about in the laning stage. Even with Bloodseeker up there, it was a bit iffy a couple times. There's so many good team fights where was it Yang? Is he there? Yeah, where Yang was just able to get up in the front, in the face of Mineski, start these chain stuns, which would lead to a Reaper's kill, which would put Mineski on the back foot. So.
The last fight that was the deciding one they lost was when Yang didn't get in the front lines. He was the last hero to die in the fight, which was a big part of the problem because of the initiation not really favoring Thunder in that situation.
And I think it's also his items a little bit. I mean, he basically built all tanky, which I think was fine. Blink, he had Blade Mail, he had AC. I don't remember what his follow-up item was, BKB as well. So it's like he was good at staying alive. He was good at elongating his deaths, which he needed to do against Avenge. But past that, he's just a stun. And some right click. The right click was okay, not amazing, and he's a stun. And there's just going to be better heroes in the ultra late game unless he's buying full damage items.
Clinks and then immediate Mirana response. I was expecting maybe Mineski to go for the Venge since Silence was taken, but it seems they want to prioritize their core hero picks.
Yeah, it got banned last game, I believe. Was it first phase?
The Mirana, I want to say it was first stage banned by Thunder. Mirana's been one of the most successful heroes in terms of high pick rate and really good win rate. It's like 65 to 70% range over like 30 games or so.
It's definitely good on Mineski. It's certainly seems clear it's one of their favorite heroes, and this is a good way to start it out. Wraith King stun into arrow. It doesn't matter if Wraith King's a support. If he's a core, you're going to have that combo ready to go at any point. They remove a Undying, maybe a Wraith King solution that they feel like. And I can kind of see that too. Because Wraith King, elongates his death. Yes, he's getting stunned, but he can heal himself. He can decay spam. Once you have Tomb up as well, then Wraith King's going to have a tough time. Can't keep blinking. is going to get slowed, is a melee hero, can't kill the
10
tomb.
seconds
Yep.
remaining.
Makes sense to me.
So we'll see VGJ.Thunder on their side, ban the Pugna, and looking for another Decrep, definitely good against the Clinks, although they do have Silencer as one option against Pugna, but can always build into that BKB. And Necrophos as their other ban. Okay. Solid laner. Doesn't reveal too much. I feel like VGJ.Thunder's lanes and core assignments are still very flexible between Tiny and Clinks, and whatever their third core is.
And Necro definitely would have been good. Lane-wise, it matches up fine against Clink's Tiny, I think.
Sometimes
Clink's
Necro
issues,
counters
but
Tiny pretty hard, I'd say, with the Heartstopper and Reaper just so good because of how tanky Tiny gets.
yeah, that's true. But especially because they have a stun and an arrow follow-up, that almost always leads to a fight where one guy is going to get chain disabled and probably killed, and Necro's so good at just like solidifying those in a lot of situations, because no matter what, as long as his HP is below half and you have a Veil, he's probably dead. So
yeah,
would have worked out nice. They end up getting Avenge on their side. It's going to be some strong skellies, man.
yeah, beef up the skellies. That's the strat.
That's all that matters. With that said, they have 2 projectile stuns this game against the Clinks. That's a little iffy.
5 seconds.
I love Venge, love Wraith King, but
yeah. Yep, how are you getting on top of this guy? He could become unkillable. Clinks doesn't do well with the Wraith King skeletons, theoretically. Doesn't have that good clear for them or anything like that. But
and he's also often on the map, kind of. He's not very good at pushing. And even if he isn't pushing a lane directly, he's oftentimes invis looking for something. It's not easy for him to like, oh, let me clear these skellies quick and go somewhere else.
And that's kind of the opposite of Wraith King. He's happy to show himself in the lane, shove it out, summon his skeletons, and basically say, come and defend this lane. I'm not even there. My skeletons are. But somebody has to show there, and then you can go somewhere else on the map, look for a Blink Stun initiation.
So we do see another Dark Willow this time on the Radiant side, which is a bit new. And a Huskar, no last ban, like we expected some of these other ones. It's still another hero that can't hit Clinks easily, but it's okay. Just gotta wait till strafe ends, I guess.
Doesn't life break is dodged?
Life break will hit, yes.
Okay.
But his spears will never hit through strafe.
That's true. Do they have? I guess they don't have a dispel or anything they can use for that right now.
Yeah, they'd have to get a Yule Scepter or something, but
yep.
it's fine. I don't think they're too worried. Like, ignoring strafe, their lineup looks real good to me. Like, they've got saves with Vengeful Spirit. They've got frontliners with both Huskar and Wraith King. They've got range carries with Mirana and Huskar. Like, it just feels like they're hitting all the bases right now to me. The only thing that they're weak at is their initiation is not good. It's basically swap into stuns or Mirana ultis to get close to initiate. So maybe they need a support that can start fights for them. I'm not necessarily sure what that would be, but
I like the Huskar with Wraith King because I feel like we're not seeing teams picking this Wraith King, but they're not always thinking like, what's a good carry that benefits a lot from the aura. It is his weakest skill, but it's still there, and it's not something Wraith King benefits from when he's just going Blink, Blade Mail, even Radiance. It's like the lifesteal on Wraith King is kind of but on a Huskar, on these like agi heroes, it's way better. It's free built-in lifesteal.
And a lot of Huskars aren't even buying Mask of Death these days because it's like 1,200 gold. It takes a whole item slot. That could be a Halberd or something. It feels bad to buy it, and you don't want to get the level 15 talent that gets it because the 10 Burning Spears is so much damage. I totally agree. Having that lifesteal could be really huge for Huskar in some of those moments where he gets low on HP. And considering the damage types that we're looking at, obviously Clinks is very, very commonly does buy a lot of physical damage items, including what his skills do. But we've also seen some Maelstroms and things like that, and Huskar against the rest of the lineup is looking really good.
Yep. See what the last pick is to round this out. It's going to be a Brewmaster. Where are we going with our lanes? There's your Dispel for Clink Strafe.
Yep, so probably a Wraith King support.
Yeah, 4-position Wraith King could theoretically be 4-position Mirana, but the Wraith King seems much more likely.
So still not a fan of Wraith King versus Clinks here as a support because he's not going to have much armor. He'll die pretty quick. But against the other heroes, I like it a lot because they're all spell-based nuke heroes. They have cooldowns, and if he can trade cooldowns for his ultimate, that's a pretty good trade as a support.
Wraith King always feels nice against these burst heroes who, will blow them up once quickly, but can't always do that a second time necessarily. Even if they do have a second option, it's like, well, you just forced a full tiny combo and you don't even get a kill out of it.
And then you need another stun after that to guarantee your right clicks finish him off. So it can be really costly. Although last time we saw Wraith King support, I don't remember which team it was, but it felt really good for like 15 minutes, and then it really started feeling weak and fell off. So maybe that'll happen.
That's a Sylar classic. I was wondering if we're going to see much like in this tournament. It doesn't feel like a great hero at the time being. I think Windstrike picked up in one game, but
what about this game? I mean, he feels okay against Huskar.
Yeah,
does it not?
Wraith King can burn his mana with your Necrobook if you want to go on him and just not have to kill him a second time. That's kind of the solution. We talk about how you have to use so many spells to kill Wraith King. Well, rather than overcommit for him, just find a way to burn his mana.
And it's a good way to just give him and everybody on his team just a lot of damage, attack speed, a little bit of health and stuff like that at nighttime. I could see that being a good snag. Though, Brewmaster Dispel should do summon-based damage, right? So you can like one-shot all the wolves and maybe damage the Necro 3s. I don't know if it kills them fully or not. Maybe it depends on the level, but yeah, Brewmaster's Dispel, very, very good this game. Might still run into some of those silence problems, but considering how few stuns are on VGJ.Thunder, this game could feel completely different for Ice Ice Ice.
All right.
Oh, it's a Mushi. Okay, so Jabs Morana. It's a support Morana. Okay, that was the other option, I guess. And
okay. Must decide
all right.
when they saw that last pick that, okay, actually we want to have, farm more on the Wraith King this game. I wonder kind of why that is.
It's a good way to... I definitely agree about the Necro. Like, if Sylar picks up Necro and it's a support Wraith King, it's going to be so hard for him to ever get to anything. That's going to be a solution there. But if it's core, you've got farm priority, you're getting some stuff. Eventually, it's going to be something.
And Mirana as a support, you've got Arrow that one-shots the Necro books, one-shots the Helm Creep, if you can hit him. They are very fast with the shapeshift, but...
Maybe he'll just go like Yules or something. Wouldn't be terrible this game. There's a lot of like little dispels and things that you might like. Global Silence, Dark Willow stuff. You could use. If it would feel better than like a core Yules into Arrow kind of a thing, and then gives them the Clink solutions. That gives them a setup to start team fights other than a Brewmaster going in. I think it could work.
Should be some interesting drafts. Like it, we got something different. Talking about last game, it feels like every different team is picking different stuff, different styles to each other, and even, the same team is doing something very different game to game. Moon playing Husker. I do know Mushi does not enjoy and play much Husker, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to 100% be Husker mid, but it is, by the looks of his items, going to be Husker mid.
Yeah, Moon going to be going for that one. And this is basically why they picked him in the phase they did. It's one of those lane winner heroes, kind of similar to, it's like a ranged Ursa basically. It's like the more you fight him, the worse it's going to go.
All right, well, we'll see how things unravel here in our second game. VGJ.Thunder, they're kind of competing for a spot in the top 4. A draw here would be fantastic as far as still giving them a shot at it. It would keep their consistent 50% win rate. As for Mineski, even should they win out today, have a pretty low chance of making it. They win all their games, they're 50% win rate, but they still go versus LGD. So they're trying to avoid elimination and just avoid being a bottom seed, which right now they're, looking pretty good as like one of those middle-of-the-pack teams.
Man, I was very confused about your statement because I was like, win all their games today. They didn't win last game, but they did. It was just extremely close. Extremely close.
I guess they played in the first round when we cast them and they did not win, right?
Oh, that's right.
They got 2-0'd by Liquid. We saw this. Yeah, so win of the rest of their games today, I guess, including the last. But yeah, that series feels so long ago. That was yesterday.
It does, yes.
Sure, I'm sure for some viewers in like Europe or Asia, it probably was yesterday.
He's picking up his passive here just to trade a little bit better with the Wolves. Get out scot-free, but they'll get the double bounty, so it's a triple here for Mineski. And they're actually thinking about going for DDC, but have to land a solo arrow.
Yep.
So looking like it'll be maybe a passive lane here from Mineski because they pick up the passive, just expecting to trade hits with enemy heroes, trade better if possible. And maybe later is Jabs. He's got a lot of damage.
He might be
I'm a little surprised. I don't think he. Well,
where's Mushi? He's farming top, so.
Ice is queuing quelling, so I think it's just he just wants the damage bonus, and this is a good way to get it.
We saw, the open AI. Everyone's getting nulls and wraith bands on supports. Even they didn't care.
That's true.
This is just the way you play Dota some of the time.
Jabs just trading hits with DDC right now. Does get a good arcane curse reapply at least, but so.
See how 3 lanes are going to look here. Going to have the Clinks going mid against the Husker. Definitely the best hero they could have sent mid. Having the range advantage, having good physical damage.
And if things get real bad, you can just strafe. So gives you a couple seconds of survivability. Or invis, but no, most Clinkses just don't want to bother with the levels right now.
See how this lane shapes up. Should be, I imagine, it's okay for both sides. I don't really feel like there's a big edge either way, but...
Well, Huskar's got a huge attack speed advantage right now. That's one thing. So it's much easier for him to play around his opponent. Freezes. I mean, once he uses strafe, that's a 30-second cooldown. He's got range 2, but if Moon keeps pulling the creeps back like this, it'll be hard.
Yeah, so even with the range, Clinks is... I mean, we're seeing it so far. He's struggling to get these last hits going, but we'll have a few coming his way now. So, should be a lane that will stabilize as he gets a few more points and a bit more damage coming out from those searing arrows. In these side lanes, though, Lycan with Silencer, this is kind of passive defensive lanes. You're a Lycan, you're not killing anyone, you're not doing anything except hitting creeps until you're level 6, until you start getting some items going, so not really the lane they're looking to be aggressive. In top lane, though, Tiny and Dark Willow, this is where there is some, decent kill potential. The Bramble Maze, we've seen how strong that can be. And also on Mineski's side, you've got Chain Stuns, Wraith Fire Blast, Venge Stun. A lot of damage output potentially from these heroes.
And them Skellies. Watch out for them Skellies.
Yep. That's going to be the Bramble Maze, used kind of defensively with an Avalanche. Yang wants to go on Ninja Boogie, but it looks like Fade not going to be able to immediately bring him down. There is a salve available. Ninja Boogie kind of trying to bait him in here. Even had a Shadow Realm, but he did not want to go for that one with the Fog Tricks being utilized.
Yeah, so a little bit better technically for Mineski there, as their spells are a little bit lower cooldown, but...
Yep.
Like he interrupted a clarity or something there?
I did not see.
Did burn the Shadow Realm pretty quick, so probably something like that. Freeze on the mid lane.
He's
taking a lot of harass. He's had to bring himself a Mango as well just to refill his mana pool a little bit faster, because every time he attacks, he's spending 10 mana. Huskar just spends a little bit of health, and that way he only needs to bring one item to him.
Yep. Mushi, with the help of Ninja Boogie, gets the first blood up top. Yang going down, looking for the second kill. No Shadow Realm for a couple of seconds. The Skeleton is not going to do all too much extra damage here. Mushi did commit a lot of regen for it, but definitely worth it. Meanwhile, back in bottom lane, Ice getting silenced up, pushed away from this neutral camp that Jabs has done a little side pull on. Just trying to get some better creep equilibrium, but he'd also previously arrowed the big creep, so there was no denies happening. Top lane, Mushi talked about how he was kind of out of HP and regen. He's in a bit of trouble here. Doesn't actually get hit by the Bramble Maze. Fade not doing quite as good as what we saw with Jabs. Can he juke this one? Yep. Nope, he's got vision from Tiny.
Very low chance. There's like one tree to juke around, and he's got vision on the other side.
Yeah. Maybe if he had like a Quelling Blade and could dig deeper into the trees.
Yeah, he did spend a Mango for that, but yeah, he's got some items coming too.
Comes Mirana towards mid lane. Moon finds an Illusion Rune. Can Jabs actually land an arrow here? That would be fantastic for his Husker, who could then easily get this kill.
But it's kind of hard to land it, especially on a range hero like this.
Hits the range creep. Mid, leave my lane. You're stealing my creeps.
Yep. At least he gave him soul experience, right?
Yeah, there you go. Done that one too many times to mid laners in NA pubs, and they are not happy when you arrow their range creeps.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
So Moon going fast. Aquila just to pick up some armor advantage against the Clinks. That does mostly physical.
Yep.
And Ice level 4 now, doing fine in his lane. Jabs level 3. Normally when you play support Mirana, it's hard to get mana, it's hard to get advantage, but he's been able to pick up some last hits up to 9 now.
Yep. I think the bottle's a good way to get that mana regen too. I know a lot of support Miranas used to go for the arcane boots, but that's just a little bit expensive and a big investment, so this is a good way to just keep being able to arrow these big neutrals.
Plus bounty runes, I mean, you don't get them as often, but the timing's coming up here. And
well, he can even check 2-minute runes as well, since Huskar's not getting runes, so
that's true.
Why not? Top lane, gonna be an Avalanche into a toss combo with a Bramble Maze on top. Ninja Boogie, nicely brought down by VGJ.Thunder. Not the biggest of kills, but it's still something for them.
See if they can deny this.
Bottom bounty rune will go the way of Mineski. Jabs will bottle it up. He can now also bottle Ice, so give his team some healing. And nice. Top lane, it'll be Fade picking up the double bounty rune. So 2 apiece.
So creeps blowing up the tower here. Ice will have to go back and defend that. This is probably best for Lycan if he just gets some separation between his heroes and their heroes, because Lycan has a lot of good regen right now, but Wolves don't need very much armor, so it's very easy to harass him down if they do attack him. So just separate, let him get his farm, let him try to finish his Helm of the Dominator so his lane stability is better, and then he can start being a little bit more aggressive. And great arrow as well, cutting the catapult in 2.
Yep. I mean, as far as bottom lane goes, it's dead even. 34 CS, 4/5 denies on both Brew and Lycan. Top lane, where more fighting's been going on, is also pretty even. Wraith King Tiny, 19 CS, 17 on the Tiny. The only lane discrepancy is this mid lane, where Moon has managed to have a fantastic time against Freeze. He's still fairly low right now, but he's kind of somewhat intentionally low, as that does, of course, proc some of those Berserker's blood stacks.
So picks up his boots as well, picks a second level of Inner Vitality. It's another benefit of the Aquila here, just free HP, basically, from the health regen, and it's always going to make it scary for Clinks to commit to one of these kills. He's queuing up his armlet, so we'll just see completely standard Huskar here, and him being off to a good start is got to be a scary thing for VGJ.Thunder.
Yeah, the side lanes have kind of gone alright for them, but we'll see what happens once this Lycan Helm of the Dominator comes online. He's got it now. Sylar is so good at these level 6 rotations, something he's very well known for. But before that can happen, we're going to have to see Yang on Tiny getting rotated on up top. There is an arrow.
Great toss.
Needed. Yang, yep, we'll toss him back. Can he line up the arrow? His invis needs to make sure he can hit it. He lands it perfectly with a Wraith Fire Blast to follow. That'll be a dead Tiny. Mushi getting the last hit as well. Back at bottom lane as this goes on. Brewmaster, he's just dancing his way back to the tower, rolling on his little keg here. TP with the clap.
Is it going to work?
Oh, that was so close. +2, -2.
You need to get real lucky on the Drunken Brawlers that last bit of time. But I think that was the right way to do it. Maybe you needed to clap right away in TP instead of getting extra right clicks. But good attempt at an escape. I really liked Mushi throwing the stun with the arrow as well. Just they had to throw the arrow first because of the range, and he just helps guarantee that that would be the...
They didn't need a perfect chain stun by any means. It was just like, get your spells out, do as much damage as you can. Make sure they land.
Still a big kill, though. Wraith King now picking
Once
up
again,
level 5.
setting up a stun. Catches the siege creep, unfortunately. They're looking for Yang. It still may be enough damage there to kill him here. Mushi has one charge to keep himself alive. Chases on from Jabs. Wants to bring down Yang here. Has multiple leaps, but will be forced back. We'll even use a second leap just to get away, knowing that he's about to be silenced.
Yeah, that'll zone him out of lane probably, unless he can get some runes, perhaps. Maybe the 8-minute. Ninja Boogie's got spells as well, but now everybody's just kind of hurting for HP, and Shrine's been used already, so small downtime here. And now this is basically the point where Moon should be expecting ganks. That's why he's moving into the jungle like this, because there's actually nobody in the mid lane. They're like, you know what, this just isn't safe right now. This is a small skirmish. People are going to go do something else. They're going to go mid next, so...
There's a lot of heroes that can gank him. The safe lane Lycan with the Helm, level 6 can gank him. The Dark Willow with Bramble. The Tiny if he rotates. So.
Did you see Ice's build pickup? It's pretty cool.
Oh,
just went for a Vanguard.
Rush's Vanguard. Against, I mean, he recognized this Lycan is going to be very hard counted by like a fast Crimson Guard, I imagine. Might be like Vanguard Blink and then go back for the Crimson, but even standalone Vanguard feels very impactful against Clinks and Lycan in this game.
Yeah. It's how he matches up well, because otherwise he's just going to get out harassed and have to leave the lane, basically.
Yep.
Clink's blowing up this mid tower, though, and yeah, they don't have a glyph ready, so it goes down.
Okay.
It's a nice snag.
Yeah, it had the slow, rough start, but this is kind of more the equal mid lane result that at least I was somewhat expecting. And Husko still with a bit of an edge, about a 500 net worth lead. He's coming back to bully this Clinks a bit further, but Clinks has definitely made the lane a bit more even with that tier 1 tower.
Thinking about attempting a kill here, but it's going to be a little hard. He's got level 2 strafe.
Maybe possible. I mean, Willow's just running at Husker. That's one of those, like, okay, why is a Dark Willow coming to my lane?
Yeah. Sylar rotates over 2. I mean, if he stays in position, gets Bramble Maze, the Lycan would have popped ulti. They would have gone for that one. So, despite kind of owning his lane, Moon is lost out pretty heavily by having to jungle, fearing those ganks.
Yep. Back at bottom, Silencer. DDC just wants his level 6, but he's also in a bit of a pickle here. Jabs behind the tower, leaps in with a illusion rune. Gets silenced up though and can't actually maybe get away from this one. Okay, leaps away into the trees just barely in time. No vision for the Shadow Realm. Jabs has an arrow if he can land it on someone. Is he going to throw it before he TPs out? What's the play going to be? Oh no, he missed the arrow. He thought he landed it. Jabs! Oh no, he dies in the fountain too. The last tick of the Arcane Curse. Oh, that was so funny. I'm sorry, Jabs. I can't help but have a little chuckle about that one.
He is very good at arrowing range creeps, though. He's been very successful at that, but very close kill, and it's a good try. Definitely fun to watch play. And so far, I mean, somebody who picks up 6 must have been the experienced tome, and it's going to make everything worth it.
Yep. He's got the Moonlight Shadow coming into play now, so...
You know, Freeze has done a really good job of, despite the lane being really hard, he's just blown up 2 towers by himself. It didn't take other allies. He's just getting stuff done.
Going for the just casual Blightstone rather than the Medallion, which is actually going to be applied to buildings, so not a bad idea. Back at bottom, Fade forced to Shadow Realm TP away. And it's going to be Mineski finally pressuring their first tower of the game, something being a bit slower to do than the opposing side.
But everything should be fine now. Huskar's got Armlet, and the hero's completely different once he picks up this guy.
Yep.
They'll go to Glyph to slow him down just a little bit, but maybe they'll snag Yang here. Comes the arrow. It does land. 4 seconds.
She got the skeletons out as well. Doesn't look like they'll be able to do too much here. Getting cleaved down by the tree throwing, but backup's on the way. Another stun coming out with Ice. Ice could just go for the ultimate if he wants to. Instead, there'll be a TP away. Jabs, no arrow for a couple of seconds. If they wanted that kill, they had to commit the Primal Split. Elsewhere, though, there's bigger problems for Mineski to deal with. Another tower, a tier 2 at that. Being gone on here, potential swap is available, but I think he knows if he does that, he might not be able to get the stun up because there is a strafe. And he actually does, so a bit too late there. Not that it was necessarily going to work anyways with the strafe, but...
Yeah, Ninja was very ready to swap, but Moon instead decided to kill the Lycan creeps, which wasn't a bad idea because that was like 3 Lycan creeps plus a catapult. That tower definitely would have died right there if they go for that kill, and I don't think that would have been the best trade. He still does get a lot of gold from the Necro and the catapult dying, but a little bit unfortunate for Mineski. They're just being a little out-rotated. The towers are kind of just dying for nothing. That's what it feels like.
This is, I feel like, the very classic from when I've watched Silo play Lycan is that he just moves around the map and is always ahead of his opponents. Like, he's pulling the strings and making you like react to a push, and then by the time you're there, you feel like, oh, we should have been here 2 minutes ago.
Yep.
The tower's already, if it's not down, it takes a lot of damage, and you're there too late to get any kills. VGJ.Thunder already backing off, so it's very frustrating to play against this style of play from a Lycan when he's just always a couple steps ahead of you.
I'm going for a face boots this game, actually. But interesting. Seems like just a movement speed thing, I guess.
Yeah, the burst move speed and I guess a little bit of extra right-click damage, but not really that significant.
I think it's really good just based on his passive, giving him so much attack speed.
Yep.
But also helps if they pop BKB, then you still deal a decent amount of damage, whereas if you go like something like Treads, it just doesn't feel nearly as meaty with right clicks.
Back in the top lane, Clinks has a casual Javelin, looks to be rushing an MKB, which I feel like we're finally seeing a Clinks build, you know? Too many of these Maelstrom, Lincolns, BKB, like, come on, guys. Deso, MKB, these are Clinks items now.
It covers 2 bases. It's very good against Brew, who's going to either have Drunken Brawler or Drunken Haze, which would normally just pull him out of the fight for the first couple seconds. And it'll be useful against potential Halberd for Huskar, so makes a lot of sense to grab it. The only downside is it's magic, so against Huskar when he's lower, it's not as good, but still, I think the right item choice.
Things kind of still settled here as neither team prioritizing the kills too much. It's much more about objectives, getting your core items up, like the Necro 3 for Lycan. He's like, well, I'm just going to keep farming. I'll take a tower when I can, but there's no sense of urgency from either of the two teams.
Clink's going to take top tower for sure. Yeah, it's going to go down.
Takes that one back at mid. Ice, maybe forced to primal split here. Centaur stun going to hit him, guaranteeing the silence. Willow, though, didn't actually, has no points in Cursed Ground, so.
Mushi wants fight stun, almost hits, very close, and like an ulti popped. They're going for him.
Mushi's mana has been burnt. He levels up Reincarnation with the wand. He's 177. He barely had the mana for that ultimate. Very close indeed. The Necrobooks weren't quite enough.
All he's done is save himself from dying. Trading his ulti, and that was just a bunch of Lycan units, actually.
Yep.
Sylar really knowing how to abuse Wraith King here. First time we've seen it this way, but it's working.
Nicely done.
Mushi planning to go raw click damage, by the way. Queuing up an armlet as well. So
okay. Haven't seen much of this build. It's even the safe lane Wraith Kings. I feel like I've seen a lot of the just blink Radiant still, but I think he feels he needs something that comes online faster.
Clinks has spotted out where Brewmaster is. I like his position. He cuts the tree to the right as well, so he can get out if needed. And he's gonna clear the creep wave a little bit. Clap down on the Dark Willow. We're definitely feeling the support Mirana at this point. It feels like Mineski is not super capable of doing stuff. They're being outmaneuvered, and I think it's a lot of the Mirana support, because he'd have to be ganking with a stun setup, and that's either Wraith King or the Venge.
Jab's just like, I want to arrow this Helm creep, but he's getting arrowed up top. No, he's not getting arrowed up top. He's getting tossed at top. He found Sylar and was like, oh, let's try to line up this arrow. No.
Yeah, Sylar playing around there.
Breeze knows Mushi doesn't have his ultimate, I imagine, and could go for this kill. Can't really get hit by the Wraith Fire Blast because of the strafe. Surprised he's not attempting it. I guess he just fears that Mushi has some backup nearby.
He's doing the safer thing either way, and he does kill the Skellies. That's a pretty good thing to do, actually, but until Wraith King even gets Armlet, he's not doing that much damage to neutrals, so he's kind of limited in his ability to collect resources, and it seems like they're prioritizing it certainly towards Huskar, and Ice is taking most of the dangerous farm because of the Vanguard. It's working out, but that's just going to kind of leave the scraps to Mushi at that point.
This game feels like it's going at a pace that is good for VGJ.Thunder, though. This is like their classic Lycan game. We don't care about kills. We'll push a tower if we can. We get Necro 3, and then bang, we take Roche, we take high ground. Game over at 25 minutes. Like, that's their Lycan game plan. Ice stunned up with a Global Silence, preventing the Primal Split ultimate. I think they were just happy to commit big spells to get a single pick off because their timing comes later. Their timing really is that Necro 3 Aegis, so you're going to have those ultis back up by the time you go for that. So a single pick off with your ultis is well worth it.
It takes a lot to get them either way. If he has a blink there, can probably escape, but maybe he's thinking I just need to get tanky because Klinks is going to break my blink anyways as I'm getting ganked. Wouldn't have mattered in that case, or would have been okay in that case, but does get picked off.
I think he also sees this big scary push coming and wants that Crimson Guard as early as possible.
Yeah, he's gone back for a boots choice finally, grabbing phase. I think this is probably something he needed a long time ago though. Just because extra damage, he's going to clear camps faster, he's going to farm faster, and obviously the movement speed is huge, so. But it's a good substitution, I think, for a Blink Dagger at this phase when you're dealing with something like Silence. It'll be tanky, that way if they get him out of position, it's not going to be trivially easy to kill him.
3-man smoke from Mineski. They show Brewmaster mid, and they look to find someone to initiate on. Swap into Yang. It's brought in here, he's managed to get an avalanche off, but Moon will still be able to finish him off on the Husker. And imagine Mineski would love to take Roshan before Sylar does on the Lycan. They're actually going to go in here. They've got double damage, but it's only on a Mirana, who isn't really the best damage dealer. It's still better than nothing. With the maxed out Wave of Terror, they may be able to take this one. Fade nearby with a potential Terrorize. Moon has to be very careful. Arrow comes in as the Terrorize will push Husker back.
With Mushi, it could be way different. They've got only 1 point in Vampora, but that's still 18% lifesteal.
Yep.
Clearing out the Wolves, and now they're taking it to Roche. Bramble Maze is down, and now it's basically it for Dark Willow. He's got no more teamfight presence. They can't even contest this.
Yeah.
They're coming, though.
They really want to do this. It's too late. Aegis already's dropped, and just doesn't really feel like a fight VGJ should be taking, but they've got Necro 3. They see all these heroes through the invis here. Mushi not going to lose that much mana immediately. Needs to pop these one charges before he goes down. Mushi, you're one. Use it. Oh, Mushi doesn't get the reincarnation off. Maybe he wanted to save it for the next fight. It could have been intentional, as Sylar is still chasing Ninja Boogie. If Mushi had used reincarnation, I can only imagine he would have died twice there, so not the end of the world for him.
Pretty good cleanup. I mean, it looked like Mineski wanted to take the fight, but the Global Silence lasted for a while. They were able to burst down Ice 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 on the Brewmaster, very reminiscent of the previous game, where he had this big trouble between like the 10 to 30 minute mark, but once his BKB comes out, he should be in a better spot, or maybe he needed to just ulti earlier. Not quite sure. He's going to TP though. Yep. They want to fight, and great position by Silencer to spot the Shrine rotation. Now they know that they're trying to react to this.
And you can see kind of why VGJ.Thunder didn't care that they just taken Aegis and they still engaged, because they know this is their big strength. This is their timing where they have Necro 3, they have Global Silence. Anytime they have that ultimate with the Necro 3, they're just going to go run at Mineski. They win any fight. Reincarnation is unreliable. They've got such good damage output. They see heroes through Moonlight Shadow, and Ice 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 can be burst down without getting his ultimate off with relative ease.
Yeah, they're so good at running down their opponents too.
Yep.
It's not that much they can do to stop it outside of like Brewmaster kind of is good at creating a bit of a wall there, but
Global Silence down now, so Mineski think it's their go time, and they could be right here if they can catch Fade. There's a Shadow Realm, which he's going to just...
They should chase this. Oh, never mind. He's too fast.
Just a level 1 swap as well. Tiny up top, just pushing out the lane. Not much he can do. Meanwhile, Wraith King down bottom. Mushi still very low in health. Not sure how that one happened. And Mineski just want to get this tier 2 and then probably back off. Moon going to get the last hit for it.
Just nailed it. 200 gold for a wolf.
Nice.
That's a really good neutral to destroy, actually.
Yep. Sylar's back in the jungle looking for something else. Finds a Hellbear. Happy to go with that. DD Rune at bottom. Luckily for Mineski, maybe. Oh, they scout it out? Are they going to grab? Bedlam at mid. Swap back. Ninja Boogie trying to help out Moon here. He's got Aegis, but they may just be wanting to kill him twice here. Fade, actually, he's the one in some trouble here. Venge buys back right after dying here. Moon's still alive on the side here. We'll see if he wants to go back in, knowing that he's got this Aegis and has 2 lives to play around with, as well as the armlet. He's actually healed up a decent amount here, so they could try and fight here. The arrow goes flying in, catches the Sylar Lycan. He's completely locked down in place. No shapeshift movement speed for you when you're 5-second arrowed. What an arrow from Jabs. They'll get a follow-up kill as well, taking down DDC. And full-on retreat from the remaining VGJ.Thunder players who didn't die there.
They did a great job considering the circumstance. There was bounty runes, so I think it was another one of those situations where it seemed like VGJ.Thunder did the same thing, right? They went for the or maybe I'm thinking VP. I don't remember. They went for the Roche while VP, the bounty runes were busy, and that's exactly what happened. Mineski was spreading out, looked like they were going to get all 4 bounty runes, then they end up going after the Husker. But they reacted perfectly, swapped him into position, buys him some time to stay alive, and then the Brew Split was able to dispel and eventually kill all of Lycan's units.
Yep.
Arrow landing on the Lycan just solidified that completely.
Taking him out of the fight, and Mineski get the tier 2 tower bottom after that's happened. We'll see VGJ go and grab these top bounty runes, which were never claimed. Does feel like they just lack that little bit of team fight, and that's going to come when they get these double BKBs. So potentially things will improve here. Can freeze kill Ice with the strafe MKB. You got to imagine, yeah, that's an easy one, particularly with a Blink Avalanche as well. Don't even think he needed it in that situation.
Instantly he queues up his armor items once again, knowing that's what he needs to try to stay alive. Crimson's definitely going to be useful.
Still only blocks so much. Those hits hit pretty damn hard.
They do, but against like Lycan and even Cleave a little bit, it can really help out a lot. So I think it's still the right pickup this game.
Yep.
Jab's transitioning extremely nicely. 65-89 net worth for him. It's just a little bit behind his Brew and his Wraith King. He's gone phase into a Maelstrom. So
yep,
trying to transition, and looks like he's going to be successful.
Some wave clear and lane push, something that a lot of their heroes lack a little bit of. Husker particularly.
Yeah.
Wraith King's okay with the skeletons these days, but even Brewmaster doesn't insta-clear waves, so I think it is a small shortcoming of their lineup that does need to be addressed when you're against a team that wants to push you, and if ever they get lanes push, can very quickly break your base. What do VGJ have in mind? They're going to go for another smoke. Now they're team move around the map. Who can they catch? Who can they find?
Klink's picking up an Ogre Club too, so a little more HP for him. Mushi's no ulti for 60 seconds, no Blink Dagger. He's got 3,000 gold in the bank. Does not want to die here. But
they're just going to go and they toss him back. They pull him far out of position. We saw it with the Venge in the past. We're going to see it now with Mushi's Wraith King. He dies without the ultimate proccing. Once again, he actually still had it on cooldown. There's Moon in the mid lane. He's going to turn and fight. Knows that he hasn't got an Aegis anymore. Has to be very, very careful about this one. But they've mostly dealt with the Lycan problem here. Sylar, his whole creep army is somewhat disappearing as Yang going to turn around. Avalanche toss. They get the Husker. That's a big kill for them as Jab's also getting caught by a Spirit Vessel. One more right click from the Glaive. That's going to finish him off. And Ninja Boogie in trouble as well. VGJ have taken a great team fight. Once again, we see it. They get their ultis. They smoke up. They have Necro 3, and they just obliterate Mineski.
Maybe a big mistake for them to stick around and commit to that fight, but it looked kind of good. It's just, by the time VGJ got to the high ground, there was just a lot of chasing going on. VGJ knew to dip as soon as the global silence ended, and Huskar ends up dying on the high ground, costing them a lot. Now the push is going to continue. He might even have to buy back here.
Even should he buy back? We'll see if there's enough to do. Avalanche toss back. There's the buyback. Ice does not have his ultimate, and the Klink's MKB is going to tear him apart. No solutions for that one.
And Moon does have to buy back, waste that. Doesn't even get the Necro creep killed. It's painful.
VGJ are going to be very happy about that sequence of events. Puts them right back on top. We'll take another look here as it was the Avalanche toss back. He had multiple in a row over the last minute here, and it just completely pulled Mushi out and really enabled them to just go charging forward and deal with the Mineski draft. Husker kind of prioritized those Necro books from the Lycan, but he just couldn't really do anything this fight because of how much he got kited around.
Yeah, it looks like Curse of the Sound was a little impactful on him as well, just walking around slow the whole time.
Yep.
Ends up getting Avatos while he's surrounded. There just wasn't enough damage potential coming out. Jabs on the Morana just kind of got lowered by some stray stuff, some creeps attacking him, and at some point everybody was just too low to commit with the Huskar, and they probably should have just backed up. So maybe a fixture of their net worth levels. I mean, there was 3,000 gold on Mushi, for example, that whole fight. Obviously he died instantly because not having reincarnation. But even if he had reincarnation, that's still 3,000 gold advantage that you could basically toss over to VGJ.Thunder's side. It doesn't mean anything technically. So it was going to be a hard team fight either way. And once he gets Radiance, and if he can make sure that he doesn't die through mana drain, I think Mineski's going to have a better shot in the next fight.
Alright, well, both teams maybe going to be eyeing off the next Roche fairly soon. Could be up 30 seconds to 3.5 minutes from now, but VGJ, they're not going to wait that long. They're smoking now. They're chewing through all their smokes with this big mid-game timing of theirs, ready for their next fight. They know if they win a team fight convincingly, Husker just bought back. They kind of win the game. At least get this mid lane of Rax very simply, and if they really get like a 5-0 wipe, it is game over.
Yeah, and they're playing like it on Mineski's side. Jabs is going to work on the split pushing. Very safe to do this.
The high ground ward. They see Moon here. They're going to go for the Avalanche. He misses it though. Oh, that was perhaps the game in Yang's hands. He doesn't find the Avalanche into the tossback. He hit the last two.
Moon dropping his Huskars. The Halberd
immediately dewarded. That was a telltale sign of what was going on there.
They did have to global though, because if they don't global there, then the Venge swap is going to come through. They're going to put Tiny out of position, and that could have been Tiny going down and way more advantage for Mineski. So either way, good time to. This is why you don't want to stand still in Dota usually, because even if you don't think they're looking at you, they might be setting something up, and they might just miss.
Yep. Well, some high APM plays coming out from Moon. That is what we like to see. All about the actions per minute here. As Thunder going to have to rethink things and wait for that next global silence cooldown. Luckily for them, Rouge not up just yet. It's going to be a bit over a minute and a half. As wait that one out.
It's almost got the Radiance on Wraith King's side. Still going to have some survivability problems. Armlet does go a ways to solving that here. Maybe they're going to kill Wraith King. It's the Ava. Here's the toss. Going to get some mana drain. Maybe an invis, but there's the Necro 3, so...
He will reincarnate, but...
Pops the wand.
His teammates are very far away, but at the same time, VGJ.Thunder do not know where the teammates are, so they're going to back off. They lost a lot of their vision there, and instantly Mineski go for a smoke play.
I think that's an okay trade, actually.
I feel like they're trying to secure Roche. Unfortunately for them, Roche is not going to be up for quite some time. They also have some good deep wards they can get down, so that is also on the agenda, perhaps.
So looking to pressure here around the tier 1. Yep. Defensive ping maybe on the Radiant side, too, thinking that they know where they'll be. Freeze is scouting for him. He's got BKB in case he encounters anything. Yep. And they're trying to do the old switcheroo. Oh, we're behind the Huskar, right? But instead they're looking for a Roche or some other hero somewhere else. And instead it's going to be on Moon.
Is he going to go for this kill? Doesn't look like it. Can't actually deal with the Halberd. Instead it's a fight over on the side. The Terrorize comes out, stops the Venge. The split's already come out, though. 3-man Curse Crown. Meanwhile, Moon is getting focused down above. The BKB preventing the Halberd from coming out, and very good call. Just commit the BKB, bring down the Husker. He's dead for 60. Ninja Boogie from the high ground is getting pelted away. The last word damage is going to be enough. -2, +2 for the Silencer. And 2 dead already. Escaping is Ice on the Brewmaster, barely getting out of there as the Radiant Scan will not find him.
Mineski was pretty set up to take a fight there, but the Dark Willow just did a great job. Fade dropping Terrorize, I believe, and a Curse Crown that hit 3 heroes. That's a 3-second stun. They weren't able to capitalize on those heroes, but they were able to just segment off and kill the Huskar very easily.
Yeah, there's no swap. That's where he's meant to be swap saved or something.
But just, you know, that's the downside for them trying to look for a fight at Roche or a pick off at Roche.
Yep.
Maybe should have stuck around him.
Now it's VGJ. Going to be getting themselves Aegis Cheese. Aegis goes into Yang's hands. Cheese for freeze.
And almost an AC for Lycan too. So now everybody on his team is going to be even harder to kill, as much HP as they already have.
Okay.
And it feels like on the opposite side, on Mineski's side, they don't quite have as much durability in these team fights.
They're trying. They're getting all the armor items they can afford. Crimson Guard complete on Brew. Mirana has a Solar Crest queued up. Vlad's queued up on Brewmaster. They want to get every cheap, cost-effective armor item in the game right now.
Yeah, that'll help a lot, actually. Because it still just creeps running at them. And it seems, I don't know if the Dispel from the Brew split goes up in damage per level. I feel like it probably does. But if it ever gets to a point where it can start like one-shotting all the Wolves or one-shotting the Necros, then the fight gets better. But he has to cycle through 2 of those while also worrying about the rest of the team fight.
Like a potential fight about to unravel here in the mid lane. I don't think VJ want to commit. They have Fade at bottom dealing with skeleton pushes, and top lane is where Sylar resides currently. So VGJ are kind of split apart, finishing their next couple big items. Definitely a common mistake I feel like a lot of newer players make is, oh, we got this Aegis. You go straight from the Roche pit to pushing down the mid lane to try and high ground. Aegis, you know, it lasts 5 minutes. You don't have to rush things. You watch a lot of pro teams wait for that last like 60 seconds of Aegis time before they even make a move.
Yeah, push the other lanes first. That way, if it takes too long to Roche, so you're not getting split push, for example. That's even harder with the way Mineski's playing. Pushed out bottom recently. Now, once again, Wraith King spawning skeletons down there. He's actually pretty damn farmed right now. He's got Radiance and 3,000 in the bank. I don't know what he's been doing the last couple minutes, but
Willow does not deal with skeletons. 50% magic resistance, 8 of them. Your Bedlam is not good against skeletons.
Yes. Basically no AoE on this hero. So.
Yes.
But maybe it's just safer for her to do this that way, because she's hard to gank, right? If they try to jump her, she just has to turn on Shadow Realm, and it'll disjoint all of these stuns that get thrown at her. So I think that's why they're sending her.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a big reason why I think a lot of these teams are playing Willow. We're seeing often, oh, we need to go push out this lane, and it's not really a safe place on the map. Oh, Willow, you go do it. Go Bedlam that wave and, you know, try not to die.
So big pushing part. They're grabbing Elf Wolf as well. Tons of damage bonus, lots of attack speed. Maybe even make Tiny a big threat in these engagements. But Moon going to try to slow us down. They still got to worry about the Avalanche toss back. But good sentries in place.
It's just a siege creep. start to dealing with this push. Gets tower down to, yeah, half health. Significant, but not decisive damage. As Thunder is still lurking around. We'll be waiting for that next Necro summon, which is coming up soon. 10 more seconds and he's got it.
Yeah. They do have a blink on Mushi as well, so he's going to be able to jump in. He's about 100 from buyback, though. So he's got to be careful about this fight. If he jumps in, gets mana burn, doesn't get a last hit before he goes down, and might run out. There's a smoke pop. It's not spotted, I don't think, and they're going to go try to find a hero.
Who can they find with this initiation? Very bold maneuver from Mineski. They're going to be maybe seeing this get popped soon. Yang actually reveals himself there, but he's the one with Aegis. He's not the ideal target, and he, I believe, saw them. He Shadow Blades in, Avalanche toss. They're going to catch. Whoa, it's the Lotus Orb toss. Not sure what happened there.
It's a Force Staff from the Hurricane.
Oh, Force Staff with the Lotus Orb. Oh, no, just the Crimson Guard. That's not a Lotus Orb. That's a Force Staff. Pushes him away, and that was a bit topsy-turvy, but they're on the high ground with a Venge kill. And Mushi needs to find a way in.
Moon's really... Oh, the toss back. This is really bad for him.
Once again, Moon pulled out. He's got no buyback. Mushi's in there. He's going to die, but he's got reincarnation. Problem is, what's he going to do in his second life? Jabs is trying to help him out with the Solar Crest as well as the Maelstrom. He's in the middle of things here. Mushi in full retreat. Knows he cannot afford to die. The toss after is just a creep, luckily. Not a hero. Arrow going to land on Yang, but he's the one with the Aegis. Bedlam chasing down Jabs. No more leaps left for him. He's in the trees. One more right click. Jabs might be dead here. And Silencer the only casualty on the Radiant side, and Mushi is back in the fountain all by his lonesome self. There's no creeps. Backdoor protection is kicked in, has kept Mineski's base alive, luckily. That's a sigh of relief for Mineski, who would have otherwise lost a full set of racks.
I mean, I guess that is one benefit, yeah. I still thought it's very close to them winning it. It's just they found the Tiny. That's the worst person for them to go on. He's going to have status resistance. They're not going to be able to kill that guy fast. But at least now pushing out the bot lane. They are going to be respawning shortly, but likely lose the mid-racks. Maybe top as well. They're splitting up. Freeze on top. Top tower is gone. Mid-racks is gone.
Lanes.
Top racks is probably going to fall
no
too.
Glyph.
Here comes Mushi from the back line, but 60 seconds till his ultimate is up.
He can't really go in. He died with the level 2 ulti and only got level 3 after it. He blinks forward. Back to kind of to get to the high ground. I don't know if VGJ.Thunder realized it was a level 2 ultimate, because otherwise they may just commit on Mushi, but either way, they're happy. They got 2 lanes of racks. They're backing off. There's no rush for them anymore. When you get this 3 racks advantage, game is in your hands.
Still hard for Mineski to take these fights. The Huskar is dying so rapidly all game so far. He's got a plate mail at least. He used the Hurricane Pike to help save, I believe that was Wraith King in the earlier engagement, but maybe paid for it himself. Maybe really needs a BKB. Is that what it feels like to you? I mean, he's going Lotus Orb. Not
it
sure
feels like he does need armor to me, just because of the Klink's Lycan. And I guess Lotus gives you armor, and you're looking at what getting rid of Global Silence.
Yeah, I feel like his biggest misstep maybe was the Heaven's Halberd this game, because the Klink's got the MKB so fast that the only way the Halberd is good is that it's going to stop one guy from attacking. But that's not very good against a Lycan, for example. It's just good against Klinks.
I mean, theoretically, it could be very good against Klinks. Like, top lane when he died, it would have been a great counter if Klinks didn't preemptively BKB. But I guess Klinks can also do just that. DDC, found out. Nice little Moonlight Shadow gank, but not much more than that.
One benefit of the hero, I guess, as a support. I definitely feel like she hasn't had a good enough impact yet. I mean, Jabs is playing very well, considering, but he hasn't been able to snowball into something more.
Yeah.
So he's always kind of playing from behind and has to worry about his own health a lot of cases.
Yeah. I mean, as far as, the rankings go, it's not Sniper tier yet.
It is not even close. But Jabs does seem to be the one like, yeah, I'll play this hero in a weird way.
Yep.
Totally interested.
So VGJ about to complete a Scythe of Vice on Klinks in about 1,000 gold. And probably just, going to farm out the map, get some map control. They don't really have much map control. It's vision all over Mineski in their favor, but at the same time, Thunder have the racks. They're going to get their control just from these lanes pushing out. Both middle and bottom are going to be constantly pressuring Mineski's base and forcing heroes to reveal themselves to defend them.
And Mushi goes for his AC, picks up the skeleton attack damage talent, actually, to help the lanes push a bit more. But now that they have the AC finished, and they have a Vlad's, and I think they still have an Aquila on Mirana as well, they're actually sitting around like 11 AoE armor if they do fight together. But fighting together and initiating well and not spreading out is sometimes hard to manage. And looks like it's going to be Thunder trying to find another good fight for them.
Smoke for the shrine or smoke for something more? They're going for something more. They bypass the shrine there. Likely heading towards top. They don't have much vision down, but Fade happy to lead the way with his gem. Catches out Mushi. Gets the Yule Scepter. Mushi going to drop into this one without a BKB. He's just going to die once very, very quickly on the side. It's going to be Tiny initiating in, trying to bring down the Husker. Succeeds in doing so. Can Mushi blink away? He's got to check him to do so. He waited a little too long, but luckily still managed to get the blink out. Ninja Boogie on full retreat. Chased down by the big bad wolf. And Marana killed off as well. This may be the end for Mineski. They're going to buy back and have one last hurrah. They've got buyback on Marana as well. But Husker is dead for a full minute. And down the mid lane they go. They can't go for the bottom racks because of the tier 2 tower. They say no problem. Let's get the tier 4s.
They're going to slow it down with the Crimson Guard, that's for sure. Getting a lot of value out of the item, but 4 versus 5. Good abilities on the enemy team. Looking for a blink tossback, perhaps. No, the double stun. That's going to be dead Marana.
Get destroyed as well. He blinked in. He's got reincarnation. His second life. It's not going to be much prettier though. Without a BKB, there's just no options for him. No blade mail as well to return this damage. Doesn't really matter what items he has at this point. VGJ.Thunder have just pulled out a Sylar Lycan Clinic. This guy, he knows his Lycan.
Yes. Laning stage was more than good. His early rotations were fine. It just felt like Mineski put themselves in too weird of a position. They lost their mid tower so fast. They lost their top tower. The Huskar did do well mid, but then he just kind of AFK jungled for 15 to 20 minutes, which was maybe his limitations as a hero. But in the same vein, maybe by the time he finishes his armlet, maybe try to go find a fight. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but like once they hit mid to late game, he just got killed every single team fight. There wasn't salvation. There was global silence. There was no swap. He never got a BKB. He just kept trying to get these like hybrid damage utility items, but they were always a step ahead on VGJ.Thunder.
The Husker pick when it came out felt kind of interesting because it looked like it was going to have a good matchup, a good start, but the Lycan pick and also the fact they already had the Clinks meant there was plenty of physical damage to deal with the Husker. That was never going to be a problem. They had a lot of control as well, and they used it really well. And what they used better than anything was fighting around that global. Every single global had such a big impact.
And the big difference between last game and this one was that it wasn't just global, it was global and this massive Lycan units chasing you down. And they also had to worry about things like Terrorize, which was just really hard actually for Mineski in that game to take a fight. And things like strafe dodging all these stuns, like their stuns were unreliable. They all kind of needed items. Really tough game. And once again, Ice on the Brew just really shut down because he was against the silencer. It had some value, but it was like the first couple team fights, Thunder shuts it down every single time, and they just end up getting crushed in the end.
VGJ.Thunder were 1 win, 5 losses after day 1. They were bottom of Group A, but suddenly, day 3, they find themselves kind of in the top 4. They're 6-6, maybe 5th place, maybe just outside. They have a good, legitimate shot at starting in the winner bracket if they can win some of their remaining games, or at least they've got, 4 remaining. If they win 3 out of 4, things could look a whole lot better for them. As for Mineski, not great, but not terrible. We'll be seeing them almost certainly in the main event. Not guaranteed, don't hold my word to that, but they've got 5 wins.
Yeah,
and 9 losses.
And
now.
Winstrike looking 2-10. So Winstrike it's actually impossible. Winstrike should have max 7 matches, or is
you
it
play 16,
8?
so they have 4 left. They could go 6-10.
Okay, but that's
not impossible, but
difficult. They got to play OG and Fnatic, which is, I would say it's possible to get some 2-0s there, but considering they're having trouble putting wins on any team thus far, maybe okay for Mineski, but I'm sure if they're thinking about teams they're going to play against, I'm sure they're going to play teams just as good as VGJ.Thunder, and so they got to get their meta in a line in some ways. So.
Well, we're going to continue to tell this story of who's making it out of the groups, who's being eliminated, which 2 teams, and which teams will be in the winner bracket, the lower bracket, with our next series, which will be bringing you a new fresh pair of casters to. We say goodbye to you guys here on stream number 1, number 2. Stream A.
Stream A, but Twitch stream TI_.
I'm going to finally figure it out, and the group stage is going to be over, Like
yes,
this.
You'll get it someday.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.